Mornings with Brian. Moody Radio Cleveland. 103.3 at 6 to 9 a.m.
Of your spouse's heart? If I could do it all over again, Christian leaders share the most important lessons of their lives. As marriage expert Bob Moeller looks back, he wishes he'd been a better student of his wife's heart, which means
spending a great deal of time pursuing the fulfillment of their dreams and the realization of their talents in understanding that their value is just as much as yours in the eyes of God. Being a loving husband is not just providing and not just being faithful and not just going down the checklist, but it is becoming a student of your wife's heart, so that you, as a steward of that heart, as her husband, make certain that all the talents God gave her and all the gifts and all the dreams that he gave her, that you pursue those on her behalf and you encourage her in those. And you say no to some of your own things, dreams and ambitions and whatever, if it means that hers can be fulfilled. Looking back, I have tried to do that, but I wish that had been more of an intentional part of my everyday thinking, my every week thinking, particularly in what I would call the busy years of life, when you're raising kids and doing so many other things. Loving our wives the way Christ loved the church is a far, far bigger challenge to husbands than we realize or give credit or take seriously. God gave that woman talents, gifts, dreams, and then he brought you into her life, not so that you could block or cancel or obstruct those, but so that you could be an instrument of fulfilling those.
This has been a production of Moody Radio, a ministry of Moody Bible Institute based on the book, If I Could Do It All Over Again.
Many of us ask those kind of questions from time to time. Perhaps you are going through a especially difficult season in your life, and you're wondering whether all those things that you have hoped for are actually guaranteed after all. How do you know it is all true?
Honest, foundational questions in the spotlight from the book of John, this week on The God-Centered Life with Josh Moody.
Weeknights at 9:30 and its new time of 7 p.m. Also Sundays at 9 a.m. here on Moody Radio Cleveland.
Serving Erie, Huron, and Lake counties and beyond. This is Moody Radio Cleveland, WCRF Cleveland, WVMS Sandusky, WVML Millersburg, WVME Meadville, WVMN Newcastle, WVMU Ashtabula, or stream us anywhere with the Moody Radio app, other streaming services, and at moodyradio.org/Cleveland.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is overhauling his cabinet for the first time since the Russian invasion. It's 6 o'clock. I'm Ron Eastwood, Moody Radio News. Ukrainian lawmakers on Thursday signed off on Zelensky's new cabinet and appointed 9 new ministers, including a new foreign minister and 2 deputy prime ministers. In his nightly video address, Zelensky said his new government will be more active in dealing with Ukraine's Western allies and investors and in helping troops at the front. Residents of an Akron neighborhood who were ordered to evacuate yesterday due to an industrial fire are now able to return to their homes. A fire was reported early yesterday afternoon at Koki Industries on Rosemary Boulevard. An evacuation order was put in place with reports that chemicals inside the facility were burning and creating an unsafe hazmat situation. And a former Lake Catholic high school teacher is pleading guilty to assault and unlawful restraint. Last October, some type of incident between 56-year-old Andrew Pixer and a student led to Pixer being fired and indicted on sexual battery charges. In exchange for his guilty plea, the sexual battery charges have been dismissed. I'll be right back with sports and weather.
Ever questioned your purpose in life? What was I made for? Why am I here? The Bible has the answers. Join Today in the Word for this month's Bible study on the Old Testament book of Ecclesiastes. The study, written by Moody professor Russell Meek, will encourage you as you learn the answers to these deep questions. To join our study, download the free Today in the Word app or go to todayintheword.com. That's todayintheword.com.
In sports, the Pirates crushed the Nationals 9-4. Here's your Moody Radio Cleveland forecast. Partly cloudy with a chance of showers and a slight chance of thunderstorms this morning. Then this afternoon, showers with thunderstorms likely. Highs will be around 80 degrees. And at last check, mostly cloudy, 69 in Cleveland. Akron and Canton, 62 degrees. Clear skies in the Youngstown area where it is 61.
It's time for your moron moment.
National Read a Book Day on September 6th calls all book lovers to indulge in their favorite hobby guilt-free. Bringing new worlds to life, books enlighten us and transport us on exciting adventures. They can challenge our perspective on the human experience in ways unmatched by other media. In a world deluged by technology, National Read a Book Day encourages us to silence the noise and turn the pages for a while. And that's your Moron Moment.
Moron.
And you'll find that on our Facebook and Instagram. It is 6:03 with Moody Radio News. I'm Ron Eastwood.
Broadcasting live from the Bob Devine Studio, it's Mornings with Brian. Want to join the conversation? Call or text now at 440-546-2255.
Mornings with Brian. Moody Radio Cleveland. 103.3 at 6 to 9 a.m.
Elevation Worship at 6:07 on a Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Some people call it like Friday, don't they? Don't people do that?
Yes, I've heard that.
Who does that, Ron?
Weird people.
It's probably millennials, those weirdos.
Yeah, I would guess.
Got a lot to talk about, but we have a very special guest in studio. She hasn't been on the morning show in many months.
Ooh.
It's been a while.
Kelly Reiter.
Yay!
Hey! Our colleague, she's the operations manager here at WCRF and good friend of the show. You've been here longer than Lauren and Daria.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We should haze them or something, shouldn't we?
Maybe
I don't know if you can haze after like
no, they're
a year and a
over
half.
A year, yeah, they've been here too long.
I feel like it's a 2-year window.
Let's make it, how long have you been here? Well, let's make it 17 years.
Got him.
Did you get me, though?
Yes.
Okay, Lauren declared it. Tomorrow is the Renew Women's Conference.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Tomorrow.
Yes, it is.
And I was thinking on my way here, all these years at the men's conference, Lauren has told me what to do.
Right. I've seen that.
Now, in theory, now that all the tables have turned, Lauren's on the team, she'll be up on the stage, emceeing along with Kelly and Daria.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I should get to tell her what to do this year.
But you didn't take my old job. The tables have turned, but not for you.
No, but I feel like
you're still at the same table.
You're emceeing. I'm sitting in this audience. I'm telling you what to do this year.
I wasn't sitting in the audience telling
Lauren,
you what to do.
Nope. Don't say that. Nope.
I dare you to try that. I will pay good money to see that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't have to I can say
you
it
can
and
try to
run.
heckle me, see what happens.
I can.
And I'll just laugh. It's okay.
I'll record it.
Oh, you have heckled me.
Yeah, probably.
When I at the women's conference packed the bags incorrectly.
Yeah, you didn't put pens in them.
Because I was given bad instructions.
Except that the pens are on the table for you to put them in there.
I do remember that year.
And I said something, tried to pass it off, and Lauren yelled from the crowd something. You remember?
Yeah, I don't remember what I yelled, but yeah.
Half of the bags were filled with pens, and half of them weren't.
She made me apologize 6 times from stage.
Sorry, there's no more pens. Thank
My
you.
fault.
Oh.
That's right. It's your fault, Brian. She yelled out.
Yeah, probably.
I feel like I should get to. Daria says I'm at the same table, but the tables have turned. There's a turning.
I'm the only one that's turned to the table.
I get to boss
from
you
the
around.
scenario. Please do.
Don't say it like that, because then it makes me scared to do it.
I think that's why she said it like that.
Please do boss me around.
I'm going to tell Daria what to do. Oh, no.
Try it.
No. Not even going to look at you. Ron, you and I are going to have to do the buddy system here.
What is entailed in the buddy
Ron is not
system?
going there with you. Ron's not going to know you.
We hold hands when we walk down the hall to make sure we don't get lost.
No. This is, you will be, I'm your wingman, you're my wingman.
Okay.
Which means that when I'm trying to boss them around, you're sitting between us. In the pews
like
at Canton
a
Baptist
man
Temple.
shield.
Yeah, it'll be me, followed by you, then Lauren, then Daria.
We have legs.
Well, and I'm really fast, or I was when I was younger.
You don't run. We've established this.
Well, I'm going to figure something out.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you don't have much time.
Yeah, well.
The clock is ticking.
Yeah, the clock is ticking because, ladies, if you haven't gotten your ticket yet, tomorrow's the day.
It is.
It's tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
24 hours from now, I'll be waking up, I hope.
Yes.
And then in just 26 hours, we're going to start the whole conference.
Mm-hmm. And we'll start with a high note.
Lauren and Daria and Kelly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They're kind of like the new millennium Spice Girls.
Yeah.
They're in sync, but girls.
And they're spicy.
That's such an old reference.
In sync, but girls.
Lauren Sparkles, she's decided is her name.
Mm-hmm.
We won't be doing dancing together at the same time. That would be
thank you.
Weird.
No,
group.
late 90s coordinated dancing that could double as aerobics.
Yes, exactly. We're not doing that.
Like back in the day, Vanilla Ice would do push-ups as part of his routine, and
that's a lot.
They were all doing aerobics essentially. You guys could do that.
We could.
But we won't.
Nope.
All right. Can I cheer for you from the...
Sure, please do.
All right. We've got that ironed out.
Okay.
Dr. Julie Slattery probably warming up right
Yes.
now. I got Glenna Marshall. She'll be flying in very soon.
Mm-hmm.
And Taylor James from New Community Bible Fellowship. We've got the worship team from there.
Yeah.
Is coming.
I'm excited for that.
They're going to be fantastic. Panera.
Very excited about Panera.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There'll be pastries in the morning.
Oh,
pastries. Duran and I get pastries.
Yeah.
I always, whenever I go to Panera, I always get their $1 dessert, like added on.
It's $1. Why wouldn't you?
Exactly.
Whoa, I didn't know about
like
this.
the 99-cent.
Like you can add on a dessert?
If you do a combo, you get a pastry for 99 cents.
Do they only tell women this?
They ask you every time you go. If you
I've
do a
never
combo.
been asked.
Every time.
Ron, have you been asked?
I'm sure Dana has, because I usually just say, I'll take that combo up there, and then I proceed to go get my drink.
I feel like I'm owed a lot of dessert. But you have to get the sandwich soup combo. Is that how that works?
No, just any full meal with a drink.
Ron, did you know this?
I think I've been aware of that for a while, yeah.
I'm so glad I brought this up to you.
But
Guess who's
it's
going
an
to Panera
extra
today?
$1.
What?
It's an extra $1. I'm not going to spend $1 on
That's probably what it is.
a pastry.
Yeah, I think
But
they're
they're
trying
good.
to scam me.
I was craving a Panera cookie the other day, so I drove to Panera just for one, like the warm chocolate cookies. Ah, so good.
You know who has the best cookie, though? Don't hate me for this. Subway.
I've never had a Subway cookie.
The white-
I've heard people say good things about them, though.
White chocolate macadamia nut Subway cookie.
It is good.
That's a good cookie. Well, don't laugh at me.
never
Millennials
had
are
it.
like, I don't like chain restaurants. I don't go to them. That's what millennials do, right? You guys ruined all the chain restaurants for us.
I think you know one millennial that's like that, and so you're
Yes.
putting it on all of us.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing.
Because I know the exact millennial you're talking about. Doesn't mean
Yes,
we're all
me
doing
too.
it. Okay?
Oh. But you like that cookie.
I do.
Ron probably likes Speedway cookies. That's my guess.
I don't know if I've had a Speedway cookie.
You'll have to test it out.
Report back.
Mm-hmm.
And here's another food question for you before we carry on with Follow Up Friday. Like, I'm very intrigued by the what's the place where it's not Get Go, because that goes with
Giant Eagle.
Giant Eagle. There's the Slippity Doodas, the
Sheets?
Sheets.
Ah, yes.
How did you know I meant that?
Well, you were kind of on gas stations, Speedway, Get Go,
Yeah. I would have never guessed.
Slippity Doo Dah.
You guys have worked together too long.
It's a gas station, but they have a restaurant in there, like a made-to-order thing. I'm a little nervous about it. See, a lot of people doing this.
It's kind of like Wawa for the Midwest.
I don't know what that is.
Oh, you're missing out.
That's an East Coast thing.
See, I don't. The Wawas. I have heard of the Wawas because my
It's an
husband
experience.
grew up in like Virginia.
And people do that.
Yeah, they love Wawa, but their mascot is a goose. So I feel like
That seems weird.
yeah.
Well, and I'm going to fill up my gas tank, maybe buy some candy, order a fancy sandwich. I don't know if that's how that works. I'm just a little concerned. Have we done this?
No.
Yeah, they're not bad.
You've done it.
Yeah,
yeah.
on a road trip, you get your gas, you get your lunch there. Real convenient.
Ron's done it?
If you're driving from Middleburg Heights to Brecksville, there's one right there on 82, brand new. I have been there about 10 times already.
Dana, change the channel. Dana, don't listen. He used to get a whole pizza and a big gulp.
Yeah. it's
What did you
Speedway.
get?
I've tried a number of things. They've got, if you join their loyalty club, you can get 2 hot dogs for $1.
Oh, yeah.
And you can get them on a toasted pretzel bun.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Find
For
me-
$1.
Find me
Yeah,
at
for
Sheets later
$1.
today.
Toaster. Yeah, that sounds good.
Mm-hmm. Very good.
Meanwhile, my father-in-law, Lord bless him, I love this guy. There's a gas station called Quick Trip.
Oh, those are nice too.
You've been at that?
Yeah.
I don't know if nice is exactly what you'd call them, but
they're cool places they've got a variety of things you don't typically find in a gas station.
Yeah, they have some donuts. My in-laws always get like 12 boxes of donuts for my kids that they eat in one day. But my father-in-law will be like, oh, anybody hungry for dinner? Let's go out. And Quick Trip has a deal on hot dogs on the roller. Let's get, you can get like 6 of those because they're a day old. You know, he's like, oh, what a great deal.
My mom said she tried Buc-ee's for the first time.
Oh yeah.
And she
Buc-ee's
said
are
she was
great.
so overwhelmed.
The first time I went to a Buc-ee's, I said, we're never coming here again.
That's what she said.
Because it was during the lunch rush. It was so overwhelming. But if you go like later in the day, it's fine.
Yeah, she was really overwhelmed, she said.
No.
See, I've heard of this,
Me
but
too.
I've never gone.
Me neither.
If you're ever down south, and I think they're putting one in Cincinnati.
It's moving up this way. 'Cause
You have to go. It really is an experience. It's like
I don't get what's the thing. What is it? Like a Walmart?
It's a gas station.
No, it's too big for
It's
that.
a gas station,
No.
and they have everything. They've got homemade pastries. They've got roasted nuts. They've got like a whole carvery section where they have
This
like
is a
these
Christmas market?
I went to a conference once, and they were joking about like the weirdest. These people were not from town. I was in Florida at the time. They were joking about things you couldn't get at Buc-ee's, and they went and they found bikinis because it was like the weirdest, the weirdest thing that they could find.
Wait, they also sell swimsuits there?
They have clothing. They have souvenirs. They have
Hot
China.
dogs.
They have decor. They have everything.
China?
Wow.
Oh my
But the front of
goodness.
it is a gas station.
It's a gas station.
Do they make you move from the pump, or can you go and shop for the rest of your life?
I mean, they have 40 million pumps, so I don't think anyone will notice if you stay.
Sarah and I got really close to going to one. We were super excited. There's signs for it, but it was almost done being built when we drove to Nashville a number of weeks ago. I think it was even, I feel like it was outside of Cincinnati. So that's coming up this way.
Yeah.
Is that good?
You'll need to make another trip.
I guess.
Guess we're going to
Check
Buc-ee's.
it out.
Have you been?
No.
But your mother was overwhelmed.
Yeah, she went. She was going from Kentucky to Alabama, and she stopped for lunch, and she was like, I'm not doing that again.
Yeah, don't go for lunch. If you go mid-afternoon, evening, it's fine.
Now we know.
And knowing is half the battle.
Go, Joe.
You don't know about that?
No, I don't.
I was like, what is that?
It's G.I. Joe. It's
G.I.
from
Joe,
Oh,
of
G.I.
course.
Joe.
I would have never guessed.
And knowing is half the battle. That's how the guy would do the voiceover.
Yeah.
All right, it's 6:20. Time for a quick break. It's Follow Up Friday. What do you want to talk about on a Follow Up Friday as you get your Renew tickets? Text Renew to 440-546-2255 tomorrow at Canton Baptist Temple. Text Renew to 440-546-2255. Follow Up Friday, you get to set the topic. We're going to review the week's topics here in just a minute.
Planning for the future can be stressful and cause anxiety. Let your friends at the Moody Bible Institute help take the guesswork and discomfort out of the process. Join us for a free estate planning seminar at the Embassy Suites in North Canton, Ohio, Monday, September 16th. Our experts will guide you through proven estate planning strategies, answer your questions, and provide practical tips tailored to your needs. You'll learn to protect your loved ones and confidently ensure your legacy, bringing you peace of mind. Whether you're curious about estate planning or looking to update your current plan, this free seminar is for you. Don't miss this opportunity to secure your future and make a lasting impact. Register today for this free seminar by texting the word seminar to 440-546-2255. That's seminar to 440-546-2255. See you there September 16th. You can listen to nonstop Christian music anytime, anywhere, through your phone or mobile device.
Signal processing.
Imagine some of your favorite Christian songs being streamed for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Just go to where you get your apps and download the free Moody Radio app. Open up the app, select the Praise and Worship channel, and start listening to your favorite Christian music right here, right now. It's the Praise and Worship channel from Moody Radio.
Mornings with Brian. Moody Radio Cleveland. 103.3 at 6 to 9 a.m.
Toby Mac at 6:25 on Moody Radio Cleveland. Kelly Reiter with us today. Woohoo! Follow-up Friday.
I'm here. Early.
Angela texted. She said she's been wondering how you're doing.
Oh,
how are you
Angela.
doing?
Doing okay. Married life. Hit a year.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like a year.
No.
Is it still super exciting?
I feel like it's been chaotic, and I forget that I am newly married. Has been the first year of our marriage.
Well, you guys have lived a lot of life and moved a lot in your first year.
Yeah.
Daria, you know what that's like. It makes married life a bit speed up a bit.
Yeah, we moved to Florida, 11 months married, so I kind of feel the same way. It's like we didn't really have a honeymoon period because life just like hit us.
Yeah. So there's no honeymoon phase.
Yeah.
It's gonna.
Meanwhile, Sarah and I are still in our honeymoon phase. So
Okay.
not at all.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, Brian.
You've had 5 kids. Okay.
Oh boy, yeah. I almost forgot for a second.
It's kind of nice for a second.
It's like cool to think about. It'll be really fun when they're all gone.
Yes.
And I can say, yes, I have 400 grandchildren.
Yeah, when they come home for Thanksgiving, when they're all like in college or 20s or they're
Very sweet.
newly married. That'll be fun.
But they don't live there.
And you're not paying for them. Yes.
Even just yesterday, I was like everyone finally got home around 8 p.m. Which
From
is
sports and whatever.
all the sports. There were 2 soccer games happening. There was a cross-country practice. There was someone working. There was everyone's everywhere. We finally get back, and I'm
it's
thinking,
very late when you work in radio.
Oh.
yes. And I'm like,
I said goodnight to Kelly last night at 8 o'clock. It's like, all right, good night.
you might want to explain that.
Never see you again.
You didn't just call her to be like, good night.
No, Kelly stayed at my house last night. Yes.
Hey, Kelly, it's Lauren.
Hey, Kelly.
Good night.
Every night I call Kelly
They're
and say
besties.
goodnight.
It was very sweet.
I was like, all right, bye.
Yeah, I got home, and I'm thinking, we can finally relax now. And they all cranked it up.
Oh, they were like ready to go. They were amped.
They were getting caught up on their day.
Oh, I'd be like, we're not talking right now.
The TV cranks on. A group of boys are sitting down, cranking up the TV. We got some girls telling very long stories about all the things that happened.
Just your children? A group of were their friends over?
I have 3 boys. What are you? Is that a group to you?
Just there was a group of boys and there was a group of girls.
Various meals being prepared loudly.
I just like how
the corn dogs.
The ladies, stories were long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and I'm barely I'm ready to shut down, and I'm getting the play-by-play.
Well, they're your children.
Yes.
No,
what
I know.
do they? What do you expect?
I love
except
them.
long stories.
I love them, but
They're great.
the economy of words is a lesson we haven't taught yet in the house.
And it was a Thursday, and when you work in radio, you're like, I'm kind of tired of speaking and people speaking to me by Thursday.
Right. Okay. So let me ask you this
Totally
then.
get
We
that.
really crank it up. I'll put you in the hot seat.
Okay, go ahead.
Do you ever get that way with Eddie if he starts telling? Does he tell long stories? First of all, he doesn't. Oh.
No.
So this is all ruined.
No.
Yeah.
Does Dana tell you long stories?
Sometimes.
She's sleeping, right?
Yeah.
I'm the one who tells long stories.
I feel the same.
So Hank tells long stories?
No, he's a man of few words. And I tell the long story, and I can tell he's
He's out.
drifting.
See, that's my question. Like,
Drifting.
Ron, are you ever just internally coaching yourself? Stay focused. Your wife is talking.
Like the guy in Star Wars. Stay on target. Stay on target.
Yeah. Do you? She's not
Yes.
listening.
Yes.
Daria, don't put this on the internet.
It's already
Literally,
there.
ours are there.
Yes.
Oh,
It's there.
that's right. We're
This
on
is a
YouTube.
live stream.
It's okay,
It's already
it's true.
archived.
I have to focus and be like, okay. But my mom was the worst because
She was
the
long-winded.
rabbit trail upon rabbit trail. It was so and so. Well, their brother here and their sister-in-law did this, and I'm like, I've lost where I was going.
So what do you?
What are we even
Did
talking
you-
about?
Did you just nod and pray?
At some point, you have to say, "Mom, I'm lost." Where? What about the initial story of John and Sally?
I've got a friend that does that, and so what she calls them squirrel moments, and so she's self-aware that she's going off on a tangent. What she'll do is she'll grab a physical object to represent her former train of thought, okay, squirrel, I'm putting it over here so she can come back to
She
it.
remembers what it is.
It's actually pretty smart.
That is smart.
She kind of names the object and goes back.
Yeah, that's really smart. I had a professor once where we were like, please just go on a rabbit trail. Like, just do it.
Just so you wouldn't have to learn.
Oh, it was the best class ever. So good.
Yeah, so I'm not the only one then. That's good. You love your kids and your wife and all that. But with Eddie, what, he just doesn't talk to you, or you never have to do this?
No, he has to do it for me.
Oh.
Can you see it in his eyes?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you can?
Yeah.
What does it look like?
You just know that they're not there anymore. Their body is physically there, but their mind is not with it.
Do you keep going?
They're not here. Sometimes. Other times I'm like, hello?
You do?
Yes.
How does he respond?
I'm like, yeah, yes, yep.
I'm here.
I'm here.
Ron, they can tell.
I suspected as much.
Do you think all of them can tell? Like all people?
Are you asking about your daughters and Sarah? Yeah, they know.
Mm-hmm.
Your daughters and Sarah know
What
that
do I do?
You're spaced out.
What do I do?
Nothing. It's fine. They still keep doing it, don't they? So.
Because I have
it's not necessarily about you listening. It's just they got to tell somebody.
I have a pleasant disposition.
Okay.
When they're doing that.
Oh, okay.
That counts for something.
Yeah. As long as you're not annoyed and you're like visibly annoyed, they're fine.
Okay. Visibly annoyed's the key.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you think there's a point where Eddie's like, I wish he'd wrap this up?
Yes.
And that's annoyed.
Hank's the same.
As long as he isn't rude to me about it.
Yeah, Hank's the same?
Hank's the same. I can just tell. And then I'm like, did you... Or sometimes when I'm sharing, he's on his phone.
Oh,
I'm like,
Hank.
did you get that?
Hankster, put the phone down.
Probably not the thing to say, like, babe, what did I say? And he'll remember like one word to be able to like say he heard it.
What Sarah will do if she starts talking and my eye like goes down on my phone or something, she'll just stop talking. And
I've done that before.
Mid-sentence.
Oh yeah, I'll just stop.
Like, I'm waiting. I'm like, oh,
until
sorry.
you realize you're not.
Sorry.
She's not speaking anymore.
Sorry, focus.
Oh, I need to try this.
Yeah, just stop
and
talking.
Just see what happens.
It works, doesn't it?
It does.
And then I put the phone down. Oh, Eddie. No wonder I like Eddie. Is Jimmy the talker?
Yes.
Do you drift?
Sometimes.
Look at how honest we are. We still love our spouses.
We do.
Yeah.
Very, very much.
Yes.
Okay. Well, we fixed everything now. 6:32. We are going to review the week's topics at some point.
We just keep finding new ones.
I know. Yeah. It's Follow-Up Friday. You could talk about something like that. Can your spouse tell when you stop listening? Or listen less intently?
Yeah.
If you're my spouse. 440-546-2255. It's Follow-Up Friday. More coming up.
Your fear and anxiety and pride will often be a good indicator of you living by works righteousness. I'm Darcy Harrod, and this is Pause for Prayer. This quote from Tim Keller is a powerful reminder that when we're focused on our performance rather than God's grace, it's easy to become fearful that we're not doing enough. We can become anxious about our standing with God or proud of our achievements. But the gospel tells us that our righteousness is not based on what we do, but on what Christ has done for us. Let's pause for prayer. Father, I come before you today recognizing how often I fall into the trap of works righteousness. I see the signs when I'm overwhelmed with fear that I'm not enough, when anxiety creeps in because I'm trying to control everything, or when pride swells up because I'm relying on my own strength. Ephesians 2:8-9 reminds us, for it is by grace you have been saved, through faith. And this is not from yourselves, it's the gift of God, not by works, so that no one can boast. Lord, help us all to rest in that grace. Help us to rest in the finished work of Christ, knowing that our worth and standing before you are secure not because of what we do, but because of what Jesus has done. Galatians 2:20 says, I have been crucified with Christ, and I no longer live, but Christ lives in me. Father, may this truth sink deep into every heart listening and destroy the fear, anxiety, and pride that so easily entangles us all. Thank you, Lord, for the freedom that comes from trusting in your grace and not in our works. Help us to walk in that freedom daily with a heart full of gratitude for all you have done. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Moody Bible Institute is a special place. We're blessed to work here, and we'd love you to join us. There's a need for the tax manager. You'll be supervised by the treasurer and be responsible for all aspects of trust tax reporting, institute taxes, and sales taxes. It's so satisfying to use how God gifted you for His good by joining the team at Moody Bible Institute. Apply now at moodyjobs.org.
Moody Radio is on the air thanks to support from our listeners and businesses like Fellowship Home Loans. They'll talk about the numbers as well as your hopes, dreams, and the market's reality. Home is where the heart is. It's where families grow and where dreams are born. More information is at 800-804-7283. That's 800-804-SAVE or fellowshiphomeloans.com. Welcome home.
Wake up in the morning, it's a brand new day. Tune into the station, gotta hear what they say. Mornings with Brian on Moody Radio, Cleveland from 6 to 9 a.m. Let's dive in.
Well, how you doing, don't you know? Here we are on the mornings with
So
Brian.
sorry, what? I'm not sure that accent matched.
It's a little bit of Lawrence Welk kind of thing there, right, Ron?
Yeah.
No, Ron.
And the one and the two. And
I was waiting for a German accent,
I was
and then
like,
you came in with Irish.
Italian and Scandinavian. Like, what was that?
Would you stop being so critical of my accents? People love my accents.
Oh, Brian.
If I declare it, it's true. Don't you know that? Darius choking in the other room. Well, Darius choking in there.
Yeah.
No, go ahead, Darius. Insult me. Go ahead. That didn't sound German.
No, it didn't.
It did, actually. I've been to Germany. Okay. Follow-up Friday, 440-546-2255. Kelly Reiter in studio with us all morning. It's going to be a blast. And she just flew in, and boy, are her arms tired.
I just got it. It took a moment. It's early, guys.
And the Renew Women's Conference is tomorrow, Saturday, at Canton Baptist Temple, featuring Taylor James, Glenna Marshall, Dr. Julie Slattery. Get your tickets now, 440-546-2255. 440-546-2255. It is Follow-Up Friday, so let's review some topics. And we'll see what it is folks want to focus on today.
Yes.
But again, if you have something we haven't covered you want us to talk about, perhaps it is a personal issue. Lauren's a big fan of those. She'd like to do a Dear Lauren kind of thing if you're interested.
Sure.
But maybe it's a news story you think Ron's scared to talk about.
I might be.
You're only one way to find out.
Maybe it's the new Dancing with the Stars.
Who's on the list?
Pommel House or Pommel Horse guy.
Yeah, Pommel Horse Steve.
Yeah.
In the Olympics.
I love
I'm
that guy.
really excited about that. I don't watch Dancing with the Stars, but I'll watch his.
Yeah, he was one of the nerdiest, awesomest guys on earth.
Yeah,
Exactly.
the women's rugby player, Alona Mar.
Never heard of her.
You have. You just don't know that.
Oh, okay.
Some, I don't know, 2 football guys that are really, I know their names. Like if I heard their names, like, oh, I know him.
I remember when they had Billy D. Williams on there, and he was literally 90. And so the first dance he came out, and they had just a bunch of Star Wars characters.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Because he played Lando Calrissian.
Eric Roberts, Julia Roberts' brother, actor.
Ooh, he can be spooky.
He can be spooky.
Oh, okay. So he is famous?
Okay, I do have to talk about this.
All right.
Anna Delvey, who is like a con artist, like she was convicted.
Oh,
and she's on house arrest, and she has an ankle bracelet still because she's on house arrest, and she's still on Dancing with the Stars.
What?
And her promo pictures have an ankle bracelet?
Why wouldn't you Photoshop those out?
Why is she? Who allowed that?
Wait, is she the one that lied about the blood test she invented?
No. That's
No.
Elizabeth, whoever. Smith or something like that.
This one pretended to be an heiress, a
Yes.
Russian heiress.
I thought she was in jail.
She's on house arrest now. And they approved her to go on Dancing with the Stars.
What?
Which
I'm shocked.
I am.
I just don't know if that's the type of person we should be promoting on Dancing with the Stars.
What if she wins?
I don't know.
I'm just saying. I mean,
People are going to vote for her just because it's a wild story.
right.
Her story is on Netflix through a It's not a documentary.
I think
it's not like real. But Inventing Anna.
Yeah. I like that.
Crazed. I saw that. I was like, wait. So she's on there.
Huh.
Wow.
Wow. And now Anna Delvey has the made-up accent, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
I am Anna Delvey.
Yeah.
Hello. Does she still make it up on the show?
I had her an interview, and I don't know if it was fake or if it was real. Not sure.
That's what people say about my accents.
I think I only watched like one episode of that.
All right. You're going to be watching, and you're going to vote for Pommel Horse Guy.
Yes.
That guy's a legend.
Dwight Howard is one of the athletes.
Yep.
Can you imagine? This guy's like 6'7", 6'8".
Whoa.
He's
Light on his
already going
feet.
to be terrible.
Light on his little feet.
He'll be able to lift his partner, no
That's
problem.
True.
He'll do lots of stunts.
But I feel like being that tall, like being elegant is already off the table, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
There's something about being that tall that removes elegance,
Yeah, your limbs are too long. You're kind of uncoordinated.
Right. All right.
which makes it more fun to watch, I suppose.
Although he won't get hit in the face with the girl's hair.
True.
Because I always had that problem in dancing. If my hair was not tied up, I always hit people in the face. Yeah, it's a thing.
Sarah and I did ballroom dancing once.
That's nice.
It was not. It did not go well.
Oh, I can't imagine. For myself.
The problem was I'm supposed to lead.
Right. That's not happening.
And I do not pick up on things real quickly. Sarah
Aw.
pick up on them right away.
Yep.
And so there's a lot of problems with, like, she understood the dance and I had no idea what's happening. And
She
so,
like pushing you along.
and then when I'm uncomfortable and like not doing well, I'm making jokes.
Yeah.
It was just, it did not go well.
There was an attempt.
I thought about it once and then I swiftly was like, no.
Why? Because Eddie would be so good and you wouldn't?
Oh, Eddie was like in a dance studio.
What?
Really?
Yes. Yes. He can do all the dances.
So fun.
Wow.
What a stud.
And he one time performed at like some big festival thing.
Yeah.
Was he doing Irish dance at all?
No.
So
No.
I'm always amazed that those guys
Oh.
don't move their upper body somehow.
I know. They're just stiff, but their legs are not.
So what kind of dance is he doing?
I don't know. I don't know.
Salsa.
Yes.
Like rumba.
Salsa, merengue.
And he married Sweatpants Girl.
Yes. Can you believe?
I really can't
I know.
sometimes. All right. Well, I promised we'd review topics, so we're going to do that. All right. The Surgeon General has issued a warning, an advisory on parenting. Parenting's real hard, and he says it's extra hard now, and we should make some changes because it's causing stress. And a lot of parents were like, no, parents are just spoiling people. That's what a lot of people wrote in. There's 5 churches we talked about who are doing things differently, actually doing things differently, not just saying that they're unique. Because most churches are like, hey, look how unique we are here. And then you go to the next church, feels the same. And then there was the Israeli little kid. He's really cute. He's like 5, went to a museum with his mom, and he broke a 3,500-year-old jug because they didn't have it guarded. Oh, I feel so embarrassed for that mom. Hey, what's in here, Mom?
And she just grabbed him and said, run.
They ran. That's exactly what I
know.
would
What
do.
do you do?
You don't want to go, hey, anybody got a broom?
I would panic, hyperventilate, all of the above.
Yeah, either collapse and give up completely.
Yes.
Or run for it. And she ran for it and got away. Like the museum curator is like, hey, just so you know, you're okay. We're not mad at you.
Well, that's good.
They
things
should be
happen.
putting bigger tents, barriers around those things.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like has anyone ever gone to see the Mona Lisa in the Louvre before?
No.
I've heard it's super tiny.
Yeah, I sound so pretentious saying that I've done this.
Isn't it like behind some like bulletproof glass or something
Yeah,
like
I
that?
was so disappointed. I mean, it's the only thing in the Louvre that has like a really wide barricade.
Mm-hmm.
It's tiny. It's like Leonardo. What are you, blind?
Right.
You have to squint, make a tiny little thing, make it bigger. Second of all, it had bulletproof glass around it. So you can hardly see it. It's got glares all over the place. And you can't get close enough because everyone's standing there. I was like, wait, this is it?
Yeah.
What a disappointment.
Oh.
I didn't break it, though.
Sorry to ruin your trip to Paris with that.
Then there's a generational debate about how to make big purchases between millennials and Gen Z.
Ooh.
Oh, wait. Yeah, millennials and Gen Z. Big purchases are to be made like over $300. Are you making it on the phone, Kelly, or on a computer? You're going to buy plane tickets. You're going to buy like furniture or something. It's going to casually thumb through your phone, or you're going to go sit down and get serious about this.
I've done both.
The
Yeah, I've
correct
done both.
answer is sit at the computer, because serious people make serious purchases with a keyboard and a
So
mouse.
I'm just like, oh, here's my phone. Here.
I heard a commercial recently that was talking about this.
Really?
Yeah, I don't. Was it like in a podcast ad or something? But it was like, oh, we're buying this, this, and this, and the woman goes, "That's a laptop purchase."
It is a laptop purchase. Meanwhile, Daria's like, buying a car, no problem. I'll use my phone. Let's pay cash, Jimmy.
It's the same internet.
It's not.
Exactly. I do agree with that.
No, that's
same internet,
that's wrong.
same websites. There's not a separate internet for the phone that is somehow magically less secure.
Web developers know it's a different site. Like you have
No,
a
it's
mobile
not.
site, mobile site,
Listen, I have
No,
built
it's not.
websites.
mobile view.
I have built
A
websites.
view!
It is the exact same website.
Yes, it's the same website.
Ron's over there being quiet, and he agrees with me. Ron,
There is a different mobile version of the website, but it's the same basic material.
yes, but
It's
when
just how they orient it.
when you have the full view of it on the screen, you're feeling a little more secure here that
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
not missing
It's
a
not
button.
a different link.
There's not a button
It just-
hiding on the side here. That's the really click this one if you want to buy this.
Yeah.
Or
no.
this one's the scam one. We don't know until we sit at a computer with a keyboard and a mouse. I'm not buying plane tickets on a phone, ever. Daria's going to
Okay.
buy everybody plane tickets on her phone.
No, I don't have that kind of money.
She'll borrow a phone from somebody and use it probably. Doesn't matter. Meanwhile, Ron's going to make a phone call. You're going to call a travel agent?
No.
I'm just kidding. That's not true. You'd never do that.
But I feel like when it comes to like a flight, though, you can use the app.
Yes. The American
And
Airlines
that's-
app, the Southwest app, the United app.
Yeah, see, I don't do that. You got to do, whether it's a phone or computer, you got to do incognito mode.
Oh, yes, it'll be
Because otherwise,
tracking you.
every time the price is
Yes.
more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh,
That
yeah, I
is
do that
true.
every time.
Wait a minute. Do you know about this, Ron?
Yes.
Ron knows all.
I think
Where
I
have you been,
used
Brian?
it as a moron moment once.
Yeah, I think you did too.
I must have been deeply preparing for the show at that moment. What is this? Incognito?
Incognito.
Why
So
would
it-
I do that?
It doesn't track you because if you look at prices and then price check other flights and then come back, often the price will be more
Because they know you're looking for flights.
because it's trying to trick you into going, oh, the prices are going up, I got to buy now. When no, it's just giving you a different price.
Mind blown.
Yep.
I wish the olden days were back of dial-up and simpleness.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay, we got to take a break. We'll continue reviewing topics. It's Follow-Up Friday, 440-546-2255.
If you're 65 or older, you know this. Seeing your healthcare costs go up and up is frustrating. And maybe you were just notified that your Medicare costs are increasing again, or you're just tired of the massive deductibles. Well, here's some good news. There's a program that can really help with this. It's MediShare 65 Plus. It's an affordable, reliable alternative. You can choose any Medicare provider. You get telehealth access anytime you need it. And MediShare 65 Plus is a low-cost option for those with Medicare Parts A and B, and it fills in the gaps where Medicare stops. MediShare is a Christian healthcare community that aligns with your faith. People actually pray for you, they encourage you, and it's proven too. It's been going strong for over 30 years now. So call now. You can get one low monthly price for up to 10 years. You're not stuck with increasing costs. You can do something about this today. Call MediShare 65 Plus. Find out how much you can save. Call 833-59-SHARE. That's 833-59-SHARE. 833-59-SHARE.
E.M. Bounds said God shapes the world by prayer. I'm Trillia Newbell, inviting you to pray with me for Moody Radio's upcoming Share event. Lord, thank you for the way you've worked through Moody Radio in the past. We confess our total dependence on you. You know our needs. Would you please touch hearts? Would you please meet our needs? We humbly ask it in Jesus' name. Amen. Thank you for continuing to pray for Share.
Wake up in the morning, it's a brand new day. Tune into the station, gotta hear what they say. Mornings with Brian on Moody Radio Cleveland, 6 to 9 a.m. Let's dive in.
Here we go. We're diving in. Here we go.
Splash.
6:50 WCRF. It's Follow-Up Friday. Renew Women's Conference is tomorrow. Ladies, if you hadn't got a ticket yet, you really have done it now. You're last minute, Lucy, and the finish line has arrived. You can't believe you've waited this long. You've succeeded. You've done it. Now buy your ticket. Text RENEW to 440-546-2255. Can't wait to see you there tomorrow. Washington Post covered an article, and we talked about it this week. It's called Vanity is Virtue. Couldn't resist looking at it. It's about a new plastic surgery technique that enables men to have fat injected into their ab muscles to create a six-pack.
Interesting.
Yeah. Lauren was off the show that day and got real mad at me as we talked about it. But nonetheless, these guys, it's like all the rage in Brazil was developed there. It's going to be coming here. Ron and I don't have to worry. I mean, we already have washboard abs. So we don't need this.
Yeah.
I would buy like the costumes where you can have, it looks like you've got a six-pack. But
yeah, because it used to be silicone, actually.
They would inject silicone into your ab muscles?
Well, there was, I don't know if you've heard of like the Ken, like live Ken, but what he's done is plastic surgery, and he's part of like the plastic surgery industry. And so he's inserted like biceps and like his abs, but they're silicone. So I feel like this, if you're gonna do it, this is safer. But I think it's interesting.
It's called ultra high definition liposuction, where I think they pull out some fat and then they put it into the ab muscles. I have questions. Maybe we'll get to this later, but I had questions whether women even care about abs. I don't know if they care about that.
So weird.
No.
It's funny because so many guys, young guys, seem to focus on that. Like you'll be scrolling through and see pictures of your friends, and there'll be somebody with, at a gym mirror, with the reflection back. And like, okay, great. You've got too much time on your hands.
Yeah, get a job,
what I see.
Yeah. Nothing's wrong with the dad bod.
Thank you.
Just embrace it. It's fine.
Yeah, absolutely. And I did a sit-up once in a while, every now and again. And I was like, why are people doing this? It's not fun. So I stopped.
Brian, you might have the perfect opportunity to create some abs. You go to a fence, like the fence holding Cody in, and you just press your belly up against it, and the fence divides you up.
I love that.
It works.
Yeah. I don't really need it, Ron, but maybe someday I'll have to do that. I have more of an 8-pack, really. Okay. Then we sadly found out Ohio isn't one of the best states to move to.
It's pretty middle of the road.
Yeah. The best state apparently to move to, according to economic factors, is Wyoming. They got plenty of room and 6 people. So come on in. The water's fine over here in Wyoming.
Neighbors.
Probably water buffalo or something. I don't know. Maybe.
I think
Could
those
be.
live in Africa.
But just regular buffalo.
Regular ones.
They don't need the water here. Should Christians support student loan forgiveness? This was a spicy one with a lot of folks
popped
listening.
off.
It really did.
Yeah.
Lots of thoughts on both sides of that
We'll
one.
for sure talk about that.
Oh, yeah. Again, there's various sides to this, of course, but student loans, it's a major problem. Meanwhile, the faculty and executive team at Harvard is literally swimming in trillions of dollars or whatever, laughing at all of us people that have college debt. We could pay it off, but we're not going to because we like to swim in our money. That's what we're doing here. And this one I didn't put together correctly. Oh, here it is. When to respond to slander and when to ignore it.
Oh,
We
yeah.
had a really great talk about that
Me too.
because there's seemingly conflicting biblical advice. It's not, because the Bible doesn't contradict itself, but Proverbs 26:4 says, "Do not answer a fool according to his folly, or you yourself will be just like him." Period. Next sentence. Answer a fool according to his folly, or he will be wise in his own eyes. Ah! Lauren,
Yes.
what do we do?
I don't know.
Follow-up Friday. What do you want to talk about? 440-546-2255. 440-546-2255. It's Follow-up Friday. We'll set the topic unless you'd like to. 440-546-2255.
Mornings with Brian. Moody Radio Cleveland. 103.3 at 6 to 9 a.m.
That's Skillet on Moody Radio. See how I timed that? Wow.
Well played.
It was good.
There's something about that band that always makes me hungry.
I could go for a skillet.
Ooh.
Yeah, with it's got the potatoes,
Bacon.
Eggs.
What's the address, Ron, of our radio station again?
9756 Bar Road, Brecksville, Ohio, 44141.
We take breakfast.
We do.
Yeah, I mean, you get nothing for it, but we get breakfast.
Well, say hi.
Yeah,
come see the show in action.
You get this wonderful show for 3 hours every day.
Yes.
No one
it's
ever
a
comes to
special
visit.
day. I'm visiting.
Well,
I
yeah,
should,
Kelly visits.
You know, if somebody gets breakfast, I won't be upset.
We had a friend visit, and he brought us, what was it?
Cheesecake.
Cheesecake, thank you.
It was like a 5-pound cheesecake.
It was massive and delicious.
It's very delicious.
So we did have people visit.
I already forgot the address, Ron.
9756.
Brian.
Bar Road, Brecksville, 44141.
I didn't really forget it. I was trying to get him to repeat it.
Okay, yeah,
I was surprised Lauren knew it. You
I
jumped
type
right
it
in.
every day. I type it every day to somebody about something.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I just say send it to the address in my signature.
That's good too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, it's Follow Up Friday. Ron's got a more Ron moment. He's got news, and we've got Follow Up Friday. What do you want to talk about? 440-546-2255.
Mornings with Brian on Moody Radio Cleveland, WCRF Cleveland, WVMS Sandusky, WVML Millersburg, WVMN Newcastle, WVME Meadville, WVMU Ashtabula, and everywhere with the Moody Radio app or at moodyradio.org/Cleveland.
The father of the suspect in Wednesday's Georgia school shooting says he bought the gun as a gift for his son. It's 7 o'clock. I'm Ron Eastwood, Moody Radio News. Colin Gray was arrested and hit with multiple charges, including second-degree murder and manslaughter, after his 14-year-old son shot and killed 4 people and injured 9 others at Appalachia High School. Gray told investigators he bought the AR-15 style rifle as a holiday present for his son in December of 2023. That's the same year the boy was investigated for making school shooting threats online. Governor Mike DeWine has announced more than $31 million in state funding for Akron's new Polymer Innovation Hub project. According to the Greater Akron Chamber, the hub is expected to create an estimated 2,400 new jobs in the coming years. And Cleveland Pickle Fest is returning this month. The festival will celebrate all things pickle, such as pickle-flavored beer, desserts, pizza, and more. The event will be held on Saturday, September 21st from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. at Mall C in downtown Cleveland. Sports and weather coming right up.
Making assumptions is rarely a good idea. That's true when it comes to thinking healthcare costs can't be affordable. Christian Healthcare Ministries has been helping believers meet their healthcare needs for over 40 years. It's not insurance, it's a ministry. Visiting chministries.org/Moody eliminates assumptions and shows how this unique model has worked to meet the healthcare needs of hundreds of thousands of Christians. Get more information and have your questions answered at chministries.org/Moody.
In sports, the Pirates crushed the Nationals 9-4. Here's your Moody Radio Cleveland forecast. This morning, partly cloudy with a chance of showers and just a slight chance of thunderstorms. But then this afternoon, it will be cloudy with showers and thunderstorms likely. Our high temperature, around 80 degrees. And at last check, we had clear skies and 69 degrees in Cleveland, clear and 63 in Akron and Canton. Ashtabula checking in, clear and 62.
It's time for your moron moment.
National Read a Book Day on September 6th calls all book lovers to indulge in their favorite hobby, guilt-free. Bring new adventures to life. Books enlighten us and transport us on exciting adventures. They can challenge our perspectives on the human experience in ways unmatched by other media. In a world deluged by technology, National Read a Book Day encourages us to silence the noise and turn the pages for a while. And that's your Moron Moment. And you'll find that on our Facebook and Instagram. It's 7:04. With Moody Radio News, I'm Ron Eastwood.
Mornings with Brian. Moody Radio Cleveland. 103.3 at 6 to 9 a.m.
Cochran and Company, it is 7:07. Happy Friday. We have a special guest in studio, a voice you probably haven't heard in a while. Welcome to Kelly Reiter.
Hey.
Yeah, she's joining us this morning because we have a special event tomorrow that she is one of our MCs for the Radio Women's Conference.
Hey.
Ladies, it is tomorrow. What are you doing? Get your tickets now. Text Renew to 440-546-2255. It's going to be a great time. We have our speakers, Glenna Marshall, Julie Slattery, and Taylor James, as well as Panera for lunch, and a panel discussion that I'm very excited to lead. Kelly, you were kind of the catalyst for our topic for that. So thank you so much for that.
Yeah, I'm so excited for you to lead the panel. It's going to be great.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, and I've heard a rumor that you're going to invite me up there for the panel.
That is false.
No boys allowed, Brian.
Maybe it was Ron.
Is it Scopes that gives the Pinocchios? That is 2 Pinocchios.
Oh, wait. Scopes?
Yeah, they're the Snopes. Thank you.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see, Ron. I think there might be women out there demanding a male perspective.
Dana won't be one of them. She hears enough of my perspective.
I mean, who's going to mansplain? Don't you need a mansplainer? I could be like your mansplaining interpreter.
Every other day of the year if they tune into this show.
I could stand on the side like I'm a sign language interpreter, but be a mansplainer. What she's saying is... the look on Lauren's face. All right. It's Follow-Up Friday, 440-546-2255. The one I want to jump to, because there's so many interesting comments that have come in throughout the week, is whether Christians should support student loan forgiveness. Student loan costs are off the charts completely. We talked about the cost of college over time. It's been like 180% increase.
Yeah.
I did some math, sort of. Remember that when I did math?
Simple math, hopefully.
Someone stole my math.
Hopefully it wasn't too complicated.
But nonetheless, I did this math, and it basically was income has hardly gone up at all, like 0.3%. Meanwhile, costs of tuition and such have gone up 180%.
Ooh.
You have people in Lauren and Daria's generation totally crippled by college debt.
Yeah.
Particularly if they want to do a specialty field.
Yeah.
Yes.
Of some sort of higher level of training. I don't know, like your husband, the Hankster.
Yes.
He is a pediatric endocrinologist.
Yes.
Wow.
I can barely say it. But it's not free.
No.
And
these are jobs society needs.
Right.
Yes.
And yet there's a lot of resistance because, student loan forgiveness programs would cost taxpayers money at the end of the day. And so the question becomes, who would pay for this? How do we pay for it? Is it a good idea? Should Christians support it? One of the oppositions, of course, people say things like, why should someone else's debt be forgiven out of my taxes? It's a very common thing, right?
Yeah.
One of the responses from Relevant Magazine was, oh, I'm sorry, you're not familiar with roads and public schools that are paid for from your taxes that benefit other people? Like, in a sense, it's part of the social contract.
Yeah. But
I don't know if I agree with that, though.
Yeah. The difference is, well, maybe this isn't as relevant as I thought when I started, but roads, everybody drives on roads. Schools, all children are going to school. The debt, I was going to say, is an individual's debt, but no, whoever the proponent of this bill would be, they would be putting out, for a number of individuals. So it would be a small segment of society, but, schools are a relatively small segment of the overall population.
Yeah, but I think there's a point to be made there. Like you have chosen to acquire debt, whereas roads are something that, like you said, everybody benefits from. It's a public good. I wonder if maybe people would be a little bit softer if we just said, if you're going into certain majors or professions, we'll do some sort of forgiveness for that, because I went to college not too long ago, and a lot of my friends got degrees that I thought at that time were very dumb. And I would be mad if I had to pay back their debt, because I know they'll never work in their field and they shouldn't have gone to school for that in the first place. Whereas maybe a doctor, a nurse, or a teacher, I think there's, because those are also public services. Maybe there's an argument for forgiving that debt, but not all debt.
That's super creative.
And I think with some of the loan forgiveness stuff, don't quote me on this, but I believe it's also for a lot of people who are in nonprofits.
There's a program available.
Yeah,
for
there
that,
are some where you are only eligible if you work for nonprofit or some form of ministry. And so, and sometimes when it comes to ministry, you usually think of, well, income is probably going to be less than what it would be elsewhere anyways.
Well,
even with that, I mean, it's really not a whole lot of relief, because I could qualify in 7 or 8 years, and I've looked into this. But you still have to pay back for 10 years. If you're going to qualify for the forgiveness, you have to pay a lot more on the front end.
Yes.
And I forget the exact dollar amount it would save me, but overall, it would not save me much money.
No.
And I would have to pay a lot more each month to qualify in another 7 to 8 years.
Yeah.
And of course, you have other sides of this where, for example, universities are charging too much. Banks are charging exorbitant interest rates when, as a society, we could set caps when it's federal student loans at very low interest rates, below the current interest rate. We could decide that as a society, so banks make less money / the government.
I like that.
We've got colleges who are, I make silly jokes about it, but Harvard could pay off everyone's college debt and still have enough of an endowment to feed an entire nation.
Yeah.
For like their lifetime. I mean, the super wealthy continue to give gobs of money to universities who continue to sit on tons of money they're not going to ever use.
Yeah.
And so someone could say, well, I'll make them repay it. But regardless, there were a lot of great comments that came in. I'll share a funny one first. There was one funny comment, because I thought it was kind of fun that on a serious topic someone did this. They said, "No!" with multiple O's and an exclamation point. "No loan assistance. It will upset Dave."
We should have asked him about this yesterday.
Also, Christians are pretty much against everything. Like, I'm a Christian, I don't like it. We're against everything. Isn't that kind of funny?
Great response.
So here's one that I wanted to share with you. That's a no. We should not do loan forgiveness and support it. "It isn't fair," this person wrote, "to people like me who were also sold the same bill of goods and repaid my loans in full living on peanuts and benefits and beneath my means for a decade. Like, I'm someone who sacrificed and I paid off my debt, you giant whiner. This is not fair just because I made sacrifices and you don't want to." I mean,
it's valid in its way.
It is. Yeah, you shouldn't have to take on more burden from other people when you're already struggling. I fully agree with that. However, to insist that there's something wrong with us, we're not working hard enough, when we've shown you the numbers, college tuition has almost tripled and wages have not gone up hardly at all. So it's not just that we're not wanting to pay them back. For some people, they're not able.
Yeah, and I mean, it's been a long time, so I feel like I can share some specifics. I remember Sarah and I bought our first house in 2003-ish. It was a wicked awesome loan. It was like no money down. They just like threw money at us. Would you like more?
The dream.
Back in those days.
The dream.
We sold our first house and we made, I think, like $20,000 on the house. All of it went to paying off Sarah's loans.
Wow.
Now, I could develop records for this. We'd be in a different financial place if we were sitting on $20,000 in the bank that over the last however many number of years. Why can't I get mine?
Yeah, that's a natural, albeit selfish, feeling that comes up. A lot of people wonder, why should we help just the certain group of people and not everybody?
Well, and that's this person's point. Like they're saying, just like we worked hard, we made some investments, we paid it off. It's not fair that you get yours paid off. But what do we make of that as a biblical argument for a Christian? Is that a Christian argument?
No.
We actually just got I think it's a great text on that. It seems like hypocrisy for Christians to be so grateful about Christ paying their sin debt, but unwilling to forgive other debts. A bit like the unfaithful servant who was given much, then wouldn't forgive the one who owed him.
Even the one about I forget the name of the parable, but the wages one. Somebody worked all day, somebody worked for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
It feels unfair. And it, on a human scale, is unfair. But I'm supposed to consider others more important than myself. I've been given a gift I didn't deserve. In theory, as a Christian, I should regularly be in favor of giving gifts to people that they don't deserve, that I would like, but I don't get. Right? Isn't that a Christian ethos?
Yeah. I think there's also this too of, even if I'm not eligible, if somebody else can benefit from it, then that's a blessing that they can receive because it's being offered by the government, right?
Yeah.
I think that's something that we need to remember too is, yeah, it might not have been in my time. I might not be eligible. But if there's somebody in need who could benefit from it, then by all means, it's offered to you.
Yeah. No, and I, let's just say Ron and Lauren were both up for station manager. Sorry, Josh. I just fired
Kicked
you.
him out. He's sick this week, so he's lost his job.
And I mean, let's just say Lauren got it. Ron could be like, this is not fair. I've been here many more years than Lauren. This is unjust. But I feel like the Christian response would be for Ron to cheer for and be excited for the accomplishment of his colleague.
Yes.
Yeah.
She's more qualified anyway.
I don't know about that. No. But you understand what, we're supposed to be happy for people when good things happen for them.
Right.
Yeah, just because something good happens to somebody else doesn't mean something bad has happened to you.
Ooh.
I mean, this guy's right. He did, for a decade, live like a very stingy life just to try to pay off his loans.
And I think that people who have loans now should be. I don't think that they should be getting expensive stuff. I don't think that they should be going on vacations. I think they need to pare it down, and they need to be living to be able to pay more than just the minimum on their debt so that they can get ahead of it. And they should have some time, some years of really grinding to make it work. I don't think that they should just kind of wait around until hopefully the government pays it off.
At the same time, though, I can relate to the feeling of, somebody looking
totally.
at their debt going, well, I'll never pay this off. I might as well go on vacation and enjoy life.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, what, are we supposed to have people, someone's got debt, so we better all watch them suffer until it's no fun for you.
No, I'm just saying, I think you need to put in the work to make a dent in it, to do some work to get it paid down, that you are trying to pay back your debts. Just because there's a potential option doesn't mean that we shouldn't do our part to pay back what we owe. We don't just get to sit on it just because we have years or we have time or whatever.
Yeah.
And in this texter, I would say from the sound of it, he threw work-life balance to the four winds. And he just said, I am going to grind. I am going to live as frugally as I can to pay off the debts that I incurred going to college. And he was able to do that. A lot of people value work-life balance a lot higher than paying off their debts.
Oh, interesting.
And so they would not agree with him. They would have said, you fool, why are you working so hard and not enjoying your life? He probably found joy in the simple things while he could and when he had to.
But still, we can't presume, since he did the hard, painful thing, that it's the right thing, per se, like the ideal.
Yeah, I can see that. I think there's also this, too, of we need to be good stewards, kind of what Lauren is alluding to here, where if you have debt, you need to be wise about your money. And the Bible talks a lot about wisdom with money and the need for stewardship. I think a lot of people assume that the American dream is just living paycheck to paycheck, having everything that you want. And maybe this texter is alluding to those people that are just throwing money away and they're just not paying off debt because it's going to be forgiven.
Yeah, and we can't lump like a Lauren and
No.
Daria and underneath that umbrella because it's going to the extreme.
Right,
Yeah, fair enough.
exactly.
7:22, time for a quick break here. We'll continue talking about this. Again, the question from Relevant Magazine, should Christians support student loan forgiveness? A lot of more comments to share from you today and from throughout the week.
They say you can't take it with you, and that's mostly true, but there are some things from this life that do carry into eternity. Every act of kindness and generosity, every big and little thing that you do for Jesus, how God uses you to share the good news of Jesus Christ with those who have never heard. There are 3.2 billion people around the world with little or no access to the gospel. Many may live their entire lives never hearing about Jesus, not even once. But you could help change that today with a gift to support gospel broadcasts. This is Wayne Shepherd with the Far East Broadcasting Company, and I'm excited to share that we are focused relentlessly on reaching the unreached through radio, digital platforms, and social media. FEBC broadcasts the gospel in over 150 languages. This is the Great Commission in action, reaching those who have never heard, and you can be a part of it. Learn more at febc.org. That's febc.org.
Moody Radio is thankful for support for businesses across the country, like Fellowship Home Loans. Whether purchasing or refinancing a home, Mike and Brian walk hand in hand with clients through the whole process. You can learn more about their approach to mortgage lending at fellowshiphomeloans.com.
Mornings with Brian on Moody Radio Cleveland. From 6 to 9 a.m. Let's dive in.
Here we go. We're diving. It's Follow-Up Friday, 7:24. Ladies, can't wait to see you tomorrow. There's still some tickets available if you want to join us for the Renew Women's Conference at Canton Baptist Temple beginning tomorrow morning. We'll see you. Lauren and Daria and Kelly will be there.
We will.
They'll be having pastries and lunch with you. And Daria will lead a panel discussion with Dr. Julie Slattery and Glenna Marshall and Taylor James. It's going to be fantastic. Ladies, will be worship. Join us. Text the word RENEW to 440-546-2255.
You can meet Ron.
Yeah.
And Brian.
Yeah, you could. I'll be there.
Yes.
You never know what'll happen tomorrow. Lauren might be like, Brian, get up here. Share a few words.
No, we were planning on having you say hello, but
Yeah, I said a few words.
yeah, I don't know about that.
Well,
He can
okay.
just wave.
Yeah.
You probably won't even give me a mic. I'll have to yell.
No, there's just only 3.
Text RENEW to 440-546-2255. We're chatting about a Relevant Magazine article that piqued a lot of interest this week. Simply asking the question, should Christians support student loan forgiveness? As it's a big question happening in our society. A lot of strong opinions. I've got more throughout the week here, but who are you? Lauren said she got another one this morning. That was pretty good.
Yeah, we talked about it earlier in this week. It came up when we talked about it, but someone said student loans have been borderline predatory for quite a while. The way the entire system pushes you to go to school, borrow a ton of money, make sure you attend our really expensive and fun institution, it just feels like young people were really encouraged to do things that they were at best unwise. And I think me and Daria were saying that there was a trend, and I'm not sure when it started, but it for sure lasted from when I was looking in high school, looking for schools, and I think you too, Daria.
Same.
That you must go to college. There is no other option. And if you don't, even if you go to a community college, you're kind of like looked down upon.
In my school, they didn't even really give community college as an option.
Yeah.
Like community college was something you did for, we had like a program where you could take classes at the community college while you were still in high school, but that was not seen as something that was smart to do once you graduated high school as a way to get your associates.
And the tough thing too is not every community college credits transfer.
Correct.
Totally.
And that was the tough thing for me of, okay, I know I'm going to be going to this university. If it doesn't transfer, then I've just wasted X amount of money on these classes.
I think another problem too is general education requirements at colleges.
Yes.
I mean, getting a liberal arts degree, I mean, half of your debt is classes that do not apply to what you want to do. I took so. I mean, there were classes that I had to take that my professors were actively fighting to get stricken from requirements because certain majors fulfilled those anyway, but you're still required to take these specific classes. It's just a way to rack up what they have to charge you.
And none of the professors want to teach the gen ed classes. They hate it, so they have a bad attitude.
Oh yeah.
You're in a giant lecture hall. My general biology class in my undergrad, what a joke. Still got an A in it, but what a joke.
You don't learn anything. Those are some of the worst classes I took. I mean, you skate by, you don't study because it's not what you want to do, and it's boring.
And it's, by the way, a repeat of most high school
classes.
Oh, yes. So change the whole system, make it 2 years.
Oh. Yeah, someone said, should Christians support student loans? My thought is going to college is a choice. So with that choice, there are consequences. It's up to that person to fulfill. And I think that's the problem we've been talking about is we were told it is not an option for you.
Yeah, there is no choice.
You will not get a job.
Be a loser or go to college.
Exactly. We were told you will not get a job unless you go to a 4-year school.
Yes.
And unless you have a degree on your resume.
I kid you not. They were bringing in college like representatives when I was 12. I mean, this started really early, and we're not even just talking about degrees that like you can laugh like, why in the world would you get that degree? And believe me, I know some of those people. But I mean, doctors, teachers, these are valuable people in our society, and they are also riddled with debt. What do you want them to do? Do you want nobody to go to school because no one can afford to buy it outright?
Right.
Yeah, and I like the trend, how it's trending now. Parents are telling their kids, like, take a gap year, figure out what you actually want to do. Do you actually want to go be a veterinarian? Do you actually want to go be a nurse? What do you actually want to do? Or do you want to go to a trade school? Do you want to do this? But that really wasn't like a thing when I was in middle school and high school trying to make these decisions.
Yeah, same here. And there, Daria, like kind of what you said, there are certain degrees where I'm like, please, I am begging you, get an education. I don't want a nurse.
Don't operate on my brain.
Right. Like, I want a nurse who's actually gone through and worked on dummies or something. Please, I am begging you.
And yet there is that measure of, like you're saying, we were lied to.
I think so.
Yes.
And I think it just fuels that system where there's greed in the universities.
Yes.
And they push it down and push it down and push it down to where we thought we didn't have an option, and now they just have bajillions of dollars.
And I've, since discovered not only are blue collar jobs admirable, but they're more than adequate to support you.
Oh, yeah.
In fact, will support you better in many cases than people with a degree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, so it's a lie told the suburbs. What?
Someone texted in and she said, I broke up with my high school boyfriend because he wasn't going to go to college. And that's what I'm talking about.
Yes.
Because he looked like a loser. Because he looked like a loser.
And he's probably laughing all the way to the bank. Maybe he's probably an HVAC
He's
technician
probably
or
a plumber
something.
guy. And he's making all kinds of money now.
I have a friend who's about 10 years older than me, so he's in his mid-50s, and he wanted to either be a mechanic or go into the military. And his guidance counselor at school literally made fun of him.
Wow.
Was like, what are you thinking? Why would you do something so dumb? I mean, it got a little nicer in my 10 years later,
I would
but
hope.
it's really unbelievable. So we got a text earlier this week from somebody who is a veterinarian. Love you guys. Boy, vets are amazing.
The best.
He said, I graduated veterinary school with $85,000 in debt in 1998. The two younger vets I work with that graduated about 8 years ago are $370,000 in debt.
Oh, that's wow.
What?
That's more than a mortgage. Like back in the day, that's a house.
Yeah.
370, same job.
Wow.
Same job, like 10 years later. That's criminal. Who would want to be a vet? Why would you want to be a vet?
Not at that kind of an investment.
No.
Because vets aren't getting paid what doctors are getting paid.
No.
Because we're all trying not to pay vets. You know what I'm trying?
Yes.
Because we're already paid for ourselves and our kids and everything. So, wow. Oh, goodness sakes. We got to take a quick break, and we'll come back with more. Lots of thoughts coming in. I will share some from there's people who think, yes, debt should be forgiven, student loan debts, as we're talking about. Should Christians support student loan forgiveness? There's people on both sides that have texted in throughout this week. We'll look at a few more perspectives in just a minute.
People don't drift toward holiness. Apart from grace-driven effort, people don't gravitate toward godliness, prayer, obedience to Scripture, faith, and delight in the Lord. I'm Darcy Harrod, and this is Pause for Prayer. Wow, I don't know about you, but this quote from D.A. Carson is a wake-up call to me. Every single one of us, without intentionality and without God's grace, will drift away from God, not toward Him. We don't automatically become more godly or more obedient. It's a daily battle that we desperately need Him for. Let's pause for prayer. Father, I confess that pretty much on a daily basis, I've allowed myself to become complacent, to let the busyness of life pull me away from You. I'm confident that at one time or another, every one of our listeners can relate. Lord, we know that true closeness to You doesn't happen by accident. We need Your grace every day to keep us on the path that leads to life. In Philippians 2:12 through 13, You say, "Continue to work out your salvation with fear and trembling, for it is God who works in you to will and to act in order to fulfill His good purpose." Father, I ask You now to please work in me. Give me both the desire and the strength to pursue You and work in the hearts of the listeners right now. Lord, help us all to resist the drift, to choose You daily, even when it's hard, even when we feel like coasting. Help us to listen to 1 Timothy 6:11. But you, men of God, flee from all this and pursue righteousness, godliness, faith, love, endurance, and gentleness. Father, keep our hearts aligned with Yours, and may we always seek to grow closer to You. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
There's a crisis in our world today, and it goes virtually unnoticed. We have a crisis of kindness, or perhaps a lack of kindness. What difference does kindness make? Kindness can change the world, providing daily opportunities to fulfill your purpose of bringing glory to God. Moody Radio and Revive Our Hearts want you to have a free digital copy of A Deeper Kind of Kindness by Nancy DeMoss Walgamuth. You'll learn how kind women paint an exquisite picture of the gospel when you request your free copy at moodyradio.org/kindness.
Moody has great resources to help your children know the Bible better and to know Jesus in a personal way. Today in the Word Family Studies. This month, we explore the Old Testament book of Ecclesiastes in our family study titled, God Gives Our Lives Meaning. They'll learn that it all comes from a relationship with God. To get your Today in the Word devotional and free go-along family study, go to todayintheword.com. Spend time in God's Word together.
Mornings with Brian on Moody Radio Cleveland from 6 to 9 a.m. Get your coffee in hand. Let's start the day.
A big hit in Jamaica. Here we are. Mornings with Brian. It's 7:35. And tomorrow's the Renew Women's Conference. And it's going to be fabulous. We want to see you there, ladies. Text the word RENEW to 440-546-2255. All morning this follow-up Friday, we got Kelly Reiter in studio, our good friend and colleague.
Hey.
Hey.
It's good to be here. Having fun.
So we're chatting before the break about a Relevant Magazine article asking the question, should Christians support student loan forgiveness? And there's been lots of comments on either side. We're just chatting about various perspectives. I don't know that there is a definitive biblical answer to this because it's not directly addressed in Scripture. And oftentimes, biblical wisdom is found in just using biblical principles and trying to apply them as best you can in your life. Lauren's our theologian. I don't know that anyone can definitively put a flag in and declare this is the biblical position.
On student loan forgiveness?
Yeah.
No. You can't.
Why not?
Because it doesn't exist in Scripture.
So we all must use wisdom, and reasonable people could come to different conclusions on this.
Yeah.
Okay. Daria, you had a pretty strongly worded comment on Facebook.
Yeah. What high schools did you go to? Did you have to believe everything they said? It's a generic you, not specifically you.
We went to high school in 3 different states.
Yes.
And I was 14. 14. And I have adults coming and telling me, look at all this wonderful stuff. Come to this school, do this. You could be a nurse. You could be that. I'm 14. What are you talking about?
You can't expect children, especially when it's coming from people that, over the course of our lives, it's built up. Teachers are trustworthy. Teachers care about you. You can listen to them. You cannot expect children to sift through lies. And they probably weren't even lying. They probably genuinely believed that This started in probably the 80s or 90s that you had to go to school. This was just kind of where culture was. It wasn't just teachers. I mean, I told my parents have changed their stance on college, but I one time told my dad I wasn't sure I wanted to go to college, and he laughed. He's like, if anyone's going to college, it's you. You were built for college.
Yeah, I think what the conclusion we came to earlier this week isn't, maybe it's not necessarily loan forgiveness. There's a lot of reasons not to do that, but someone needs to hold these universities and banks accountable. And maybe it's the government that needs to do that, because what they're doing is predatory. These costs for schools, the interest rates on student loans is insane, and people are never going to get out of them.
I mean, even dropping interest rates to 0% interest and just asking students to repay what they borrowed would be life-changing for many people.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's
That
not even
alone.
forgiveness. It's just elimination of interest.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And there's societal interest in that in some respects. But, okay, here's another comment. Someone thinks, no, Christians should not support student loan forgiveness. They say, I do not think Christians should support it. I think Christians should keep doing what they're doing. Like, for example, donating money to Moody Radio. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be a Scrooge, but I was born in 1983, and the cost of college went up for me as well as for Daria and Lauren. I have family members born 10 years younger than me. No money to repay loans, but covered in tattoos and getting them constantly, going to concerts and all-inclusive vacations. Like, essentially, young people living it up, sitting on their loans.
That's maybe one or two people that you know. I mean, the vast majority of us, I was very fortunate to just buy my first house. I didn't think I'd ever be able to do that because of the economy, and my student loans are one of those things that I thought would forever hold me back. Not everybody's out there squandering their money.
Someone else said, I think there's a larger Christian argument to be made that we should care about learning what wise policy looks like. Neither full loan forgiveness nor the current situation is wise policy.
No, neither's working.
No.
Neither's working.
I think
That's very thoughtful.
It is.
Yeah, and I think there's also this too. I mean, I can't speak for everybody else here, but when I was a kid in high school and even in college, nobody's telling you how to budget. Nobody's telling you, okay, let's just budget and see what life would be if you got X amount of money for your income, and what does it look like to pay off debt.
Especially college debt.
Yeah, I had no idea.
And like what it means to have an interest rate and what that looks like over 20 years.
Right.
One of the things that gets thrown around, I think, the term like student loan forgiveness, and some people in their mind might think, oh, we're going to have the government pay 100% of the student loan, for each student who went to school from, I don't know what years you'd include in that or whatever.
Yeah.
But any of the proposals that I've heard, they're pretty limited on who would be eligible, and it's only a partial student loan repayment. So maybe your harsh answers would be softened a little bit if you knew it wasn't in totality for every student who made the decision to sign the loan paper.
Yeah, it's a good point, because we really have become, in all things, an all or nothing society.
Yeah.
Right? It's either there's a yes or a no. There's no maybe. There's no kinda. There's not part way. Right? You're for or against. You're 100% Republican, 100% Democrat, or you're nothing. Yeah, you're for or you're against. And this is what it is. And what you're saying is, like this guy indicates, the Christian argument would ultimately be nuanced, because neither full forgiveness nor the current situation is wise, this person says. Correct. So the solution would be nuanced. Not everyone's 100% forgiven. Nobody's 100% forgiven. Those are not the options. And yet, how do we end up always talking about that?
Right. No, I feel that, because when you see these payments, they're still making payments. It might be lower than what kind of the average payment is for loans, I'm assuming here. But they're still paying something back, and there's still interest on the loans, even though there is forgiveness happening. Does that make sense? I hope it does.
Yeah, and I don't know. It's a frustrating thing to look at because I still get very upset with Ivy League schools with endowments the size of economies of major countries. There's something unjust about that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, maybe that's rooted in jealousy. Not like I think I can get that money somehow for myself, but it just doesn't seem just that Harvard can have so much money that they don't need.
Yeah.
That's not helping anyone except themselves. And it's not even helping them because they don't need it.
Mm-hmm.
The more you look into Ivy League endowments, it's just mind-blowing how much money is in them. And yet we're asking taxpayers to repay this? Are you kidding me?
Right. And there's so much interest in college. I don't know what the prices are now, but they weren't cheap when I went to college, so can't imagine.
Let's go to Paul in Copley. Hey, Paul, what do you have for us on student loan forgiveness and whether Christians should support it?
Well, I'm all for it, honestly. I mean, I didn't go to college. I got into a trade school. And, back when I was younger, they were saying, go to college, go to college. Well, I don't have a problem with them forgiving the student loan debt because I think a lot of these students are duped. And if you look at the trillions of dollars we give to foreign countries, and we can't forgive these student loan debts because some of these kids were duped or they made a mistake or whatever. It can't be an ongoing thing, but I think a one-time forgiveness up to a certain amount of money, I don't have a problem with that at all. We give so much money away as a country, and you can say what you want about these kids. Well, they shouldn't have did this, they shouldn't have done that, they shouldn't have went into college for art or whatever, but, they make mistakes when a lot of them don't even have any guidance, do they? How many kids don't have parents at home? So they rely on the student guidance counselors and blah, blah, blah. I mean, like I was telling the lady, we homeschooled 5 kids. 4 of them went to college. But the whole time we were homeschooling them, I didn't get anything from the public school system, and I paid my taxes, for...
interesting point.
So where's all that money? I mean, I didn't ask nothing from the public school system, but every year I paid my property tax, and so... I really don't. I think there's a time. The amount of money that would go into the student loan forgiveness is very minimal, I think, compared to what they're spending in Ukraine or look at the money they spend on even these on the campaigns. I mean,
that's so true.
The advertising money they spend. I mean, ask these campaigns. Hey, how about giving a couple million to student loan debt? Start a GoFundMe.
That's actually creative too, because I'm so tired of those ridiculous political ads. Candidate A hates babies. They say these ridiculous things. They think we're so dumb.
Right. And I don't know. I think we went through a time in our society, where they told everybody to go to college, and that was fine. I would have liked to gone myself, but as a person who didn't go to college, sometimes I feel like people who did go to college look down on you because, and not personally, but I mean, look at any application you apply for a home loan or whatever. How many years of education did you have? How many, who cares how many? The guys who built our country went to 8th grade.
Amen.
A lot of them, and these people, they got all the college, they don't know how to build the pyramids.
Yeah. Now, Paul, why don't you have the disposition of it's not fair if they get a loan paid off and I didn't get to go to college?
Because, of course I trust in the Lord, and the Lord guides your steps. And, I'm not, a lot of life isn't fair. If stuff was fair, is it fair that we spend so much money on military aid to other countries? Is it fair that, we're letting the border be run over and we're spending all that money on immigrants, which I feel I got mixed feelings about that too, but we just spend so much money. Hey, give the kid, tell them in high school, hey, here's so much money for a 2-year degree if you choose to go to college, and like you guys talk about the endowments, of course, these people, we should stop giving our money to them, stop giving it to the endowments or the colleges and start paying off the student loan debt with it. I bet you that money would go a long way,
Some great points, Jim. You've enhanced our discussion today. Sorry, not Jim, Paul. Paul, thank you so much, Paul, for the call. Love you, brother. We got to get to a break, but hope you have a great weekend, my friend.
Yeah, you too. Take care. God bless.
You too. 7:47. We're up against a quick break. We got more to talk about, though, on the student loan forgiveness. Lots of great comments coming in on whether or not Christians should support that kind of concept.
You know, a lot of times you have to choose between something high quality or something that saves you money. But if you could get both, why not? Especially when it comes to health care, and that is MediShare. You get both. Many families save $500 a month with MediShare, and that's huge. But it's also true that people wind up way more satisfied, too. The member satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. That's because MediShare works. It has for more than 30 years. It's a community of Christians who have shared more than $5 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth. They love the huge PPO network. So, yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now and get a price in 2 minutes. Here's the number. Just call 877-58-BIBLE. That's 877-58-BIBLE. 877-58-BIBLE.
Did you know a child's moral foundations are usually in place by age 9? As parents, grandparents, and teachers, we need to make sure today's children are equipped to have lasting faith. Forming Faith is a book written by the children's ministry experts at Awana and reveals proven methods for spiritual formation and discipleship. Don't miss this essential resource for guiding the next generation. Pick up your copy of Forming Faith from moodybooks.org.
Mornings with Brian, weekdays 6 to 9 a.m. on Moody Radio Cleveland 103.3 FM.
Hey, 7:49. We got Renew Women's Conference tomorrow. Can't wait to be there. I basically will be shoved in a corner and cry.
I'll be in another corner eating leftover pastries.
Yeah, in fact, I've been talking big about going up on stage at the women's conference, but I think what's going to happen is Ron and I are going to sneak out and just eat all the snacks.
Yeah, we might have you wave,
And then we'll walk out. Oh, we'll just go work the table. / eat your lunches. Ha ha ha. But all right, the Renew Women's Conference tomorrow, Canton Baptist Temple. Dr. Julie Slattery, the featured speaker. We've got worship. We've got lunch. We got Daria and Lauren and Kelly. It's going to be fantastic. Get your tickets before it's too late. All right, here the number again is 440-546-2255. 440-546-2255. Text the keyword renew to us. We'll send you back a link to get your tickets. Kelly Reiter in studio. Hey.
Woohoo.
And we're talking about student loan forgiveness. Lots of thoughts coming in. The question from Relevant Magazine, should Christians support student loan forgiveness? And if you're just tuning in, we've been talking about it for quite a while. So if you're wondering, why haven't they brought up, we probably did. But there's still much to discuss here. Lauren, you've had tons of comments coming in by text. Was there anything in particular you wanted to bring up? Don't look. I've got more here. It's Lauren. She just gave me a mean look. Text live to see it.
Because you asked me to do something during the break, and I said, okay, you're just going to not have to ask me to talk right now so I can do that.
I put my headphones on. I couldn't hear you.
No, I said it before you did it.
Well, I've got something else then. So you keep looking it up. So here it goes. Somebody wrote this. Students and parents need to watch the documentary Borrowed Future. Students should work before and during college and take the financial peace class. Don't spend what you don't have. Students can apply for scholarships. There are lots available, and going into debt is not biblical.
It's so hard to work while you're studying. I did have a job on campus, but part of the reason why I didn't spend too much time working is because I wanted to get done with college quicker.
Right.
And I didn't want to waste time, because when you spend more time in college, then you're accruing more debt.
I'm not certain the statement going into debt is not biblical I don't agree with that.
No.
You can take out loans. It's okay.
Right.
You got to pay them back.
Exactly.
Right.
That would be unbiblical.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but
that happens.
But I think there is a philosophy. There's some financial advisors in Christian thinking that say you need to pay off all your debts as fast as possible and pay for cash for everything. Never be in debt. And that's not the only philosophy for Christian finance.
Yeah. And not only that, but not all of us can do that. It'd be great if we could.
Right. And it's because it's usually the uber wealthy Christians telling poor Christians to do things like that.
Yes.
My youngest son was fortunate. I think it was a math teacher, but one of his teachers in high school told them the power of compound interest. And he said, I'm going to be a millionaire when I retire. And they're like, right, yeah, sure. All of us are. And he says, no, look at this. And he started to diagram on the board and told them the average, interest, your money doubles in the stock market every, I think, 7 years. And so he says, if I've got this much in now, it'll double, it'll double, it'll double. Here's where I'm ready to retire. I've been putting more money in. It's been doubling. And look, it's over $1 million.
Nice.
And they were like stunned that could happen, but it stuck with him. And he has understood the power of saving money. And interestingly, he's going to be 30. He went to community college to start because it was cheaper and felt like, no, this isn't doing anything for me. I'm not going to incur debt for no reason. And he didn't continue his college education.
And he's doing fine now.
He's doing fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Had a guy. Let's jump to the phones. We got Jim in Akron's been waiting patiently. Hey, Jim, what's your take on whether Christians should support student loan forgiveness?
Well, whether Christians should support it or not, that's each individual's person. What I don't like about the whole program is that we reward the people who are causing the problem. The schools jack the rates up. The banks are charging high interest rates. And then the kids who took the loans out, because they had to, are getting hammered. But yet here we're supposed to pay it back. So the bank makes all their money, the school gets all their money, and we, the taxpayer, get stuck with the bill. I have dozens of veterinarians that are our clients, and they have over $200,000 in student loan debts. And at 8% interest, they're paying $2,000 a month to pay their student loans back. But at 8% interest, they're barely putting $4,000 towards the principal after paying in $24,000 a year.
Wow.
And they have all said the same thing. And these are different clinics all over Northeast Ohio. If I could get a 0 or 1% interest, I could afford to pay my loans back. But at 6, 7, 8%, I'll never get out.
True.
I mean, think about that. $1,000 a month, and you're not even seeing, you're really putting a dent. But the banks make their money.
So it sounds like the creative solution would be federal loans being dropped to 0% interest.
That would take care of everything. Because basically the banks that are overcharging the people, and even if you made it 1%, so the bank made a little bit of money, but 8%, and the schools, they're getting paid no matter what happens. They should be curtailing their, the cost of school has gone up far much more than inflation has. Far.
And see, to me, your thoughts on this are very reasonable. And then I just kind of go, look at us. We're here just in Ohio, having a chat, and we're fixing the problem. Like, what's the deal? Why has this not been fixed?
I'm telling you, when you said that, when you said, if you dropped it to 1%, I was like, yes, he's right. That would fix it.
It's one of the first times someone said that, by the way. So thank you for telling me.
Encourage him. Many archives are on.
Lauren. Jim from Akron.
Great conversation today.
Yeah, and you made it better, brother. Thanks for the call.
My pleasure. Have a good day.
And hey, by the way, Jim, do you drink coffee?
No, I don't.
You don't drink coffee. Do you have a spouse or a child or a friend that drinks coffee?
My coworkers drink it like it's an IV.
Oh,
okay.
I'm that way
so
too.
Here's what we're gonna do. We have how much coffee is in there?
I can do a pound.
I've got a pound of Mornings with Brian blend coffee, courtesy of Yada Coffee in Cuyahoga Falls. But I'd love to have sent to you so you can share with your colleagues about the show and give them some coffee. How's that sound?
Well, thank you very much.
You bet. I appreciate you making the show better. I messed up almost everything about the coffee, but again, it's Yada Coffee in Cuyahoga Falls. It's the Mornings with Brian blend, and we'll send it to you. So you stay on hold, Jim. We'll get your information and send it off to you.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. See, this is what you get when you tell me I'm right.
Suddenly you're thrown off for the rest of the show.
Yeah. Oh, boy. Yeah. Okay, so to throw in another position here, on the opposite end, somebody else wrote into us and said, I'm 62 and could not afford to go to college back then. A lot of my friends did go. I don't see why we should pay for it now. I agree with Ron. The banks bear responsibility. Like, I shouldn't have to pay for this.
The banks do bear responsibility. I agree with myself there. But I don't know that we have the political will to enforce that retroactively on the banks. That any politician, I hate to say that they're in the bank's pocket, but it would not probably bode well for them to try to say, let's force all the banks to retroactively change all their 8% loans back down to 1%. And that could get challenged in the courts too. So the fact is, this has happened. A wrong, in my opinion, has been done. How are we going to address that?
Yeah, and to an extent, I agree with you, Ron, because we live in a depressing political reality where compromise doesn't exist anymore. Because for this to work, one side would have to say, I don't agree with 100% forgiveness. It's either 100% or nothing. And the other side would have to be able to say, okay, well, yeah, we can do something here, as opposed to, no, we're not going to use any tax money, no! Like, we're seeing a nuanced middle here, and we don't live in an era where compromise is really allowed by the base.
Yeah,
I think the majority of Americans would support compromise in some measure, but the loud base gets to run every political party, and I don't know what to do. We just sit here, and we can develop a good solution. Well, I think we've actually solved this. Usually we don't solve problems. It's like it would change everything if you just reduce the interest rate to almost nothing.
Maybe if the FBI is listening, they can let people know.
Unfortunately, no one ever asks us. We have no power.
Right.
And honestly, I think any costs incurred should come from endowments from universities at a percentage.
It's crazy.
I'll solve this right now. Here's what it is. You develop a flat percentage, whether it's 10%, 5%. The government will confiscate 5% of every university endowment across America.
And that'd just be like a drop in the bucket for them.
Yeah, they wouldn't even notice it's gone. A place like Harvard, they'd be like 5%. Would you like 50, actually?
Please do.
We'll be fine here at Harvard.
We're running out of places to store all this cash.
But again, do we have the political will, Ron? I think you're right on this. I don't know that until we see a shift in how politics is done in America, nuance and thinking don't seem to be rule of the day.
Yeah, and
it's too bad.
And for me, I even wonder, who determined 8%? Increased it to that much, right?
It's crazy. And if you've got a flexible interest, you could see it go up. I mean, I mentioned this earlier in the week, my student loans are literally have a higher interest rate than my mortgage. My house, which is an appreciating asset.
Yes. So are you in our eyes, Daria.
Thank you. My student loans, which I took out 8 years ago, are not.
Now, I think we have to take a quick break here, but when we come back, I think it's safe to say by the look on your face that you've done some biblical research for us.
I have.
Because there's a common argument people use to adamantly refuse to have any sort of forgiveness done. And they're like, no, we will not do student loan forgiveness. You made this choice. You stick with the choice you made. And Lauren did some digging in Scripture. We're going to try to unpack that, as they say. We'll come alongside and together figure out if that's biblical to think that way. 440-546-2255.
Mornings with Brian on Moody Radio Cleveland, WCRF Cleveland, WVMS Sandusky, WVML Millersburg, WVMN Newcastle, WVME Meadville, WVMU Ashtabula, and everywhere with the Moody Radio app or at moodyradio.org/Cleveland.
The Boeing Starliner, with no humans aboard, is set to begin its journey back to Earth. It's 8:01. I'm Ron Eastwood, Moody Radio News. It'll undock from the International Space Station this evening and land early tomorrow morning in New Mexico. The ship is the same one that astronauts Sonny Williams and Butch Wilmore used to arrive on the ISS, but they will remain behind while the unmanned Starliner comes back to Earth. Akron Public School Superintendent Michael Robinson is pushing back against questions about his resume. News reports this week examined a 2.5-year gap in Robinson's resume that seems to have been explained away in his application to the Akron Public School District one way and in a different way when he applied to other potential employers. And a woman is dead after being struck by 2 vehicles in Ravenna Township. Authorities say that on Wednesday night, 46-year-old Janet Slaughter was struck by a truck on State Route 59. The driver of the truck fled the scene, but then Slaughter was struck by a second vehicle. The driver of the second vehicle remained on the scene and is cooperating with investigators. I'll have sports and weather in just a moment.
Counseling. It's what God created you to do. When you earn your Master of Arts in Clinical Mental Health Counseling from Moody Bible Institute, you'll be equipped to help others become who God created them to be. Study at Moody's Chicago or Michigan campus, where you can secure certificates in the areas of marriage, family, and couples counseling, as well as trauma-informed counseling. Learn more and get started on your counseling career today. Go to moody.edu/counseling.
In sports, the Pirates crushed the Nationals 9-4. Here's your Moody Radio Cleveland forecast. For this morning, it'll be partly cloudy with just a chance of showers and maybe even a slight chance of thunderstorms. By the time the afternoon rolls around, it'll be cloudy with showers and thunderstorms likely, and the high today will be around 80 degrees. At last check, we are climbing a little bit. Clear skies, 69 degrees in Cleveland, 65 Akron and Canton, 63 in Lorain and Elyria.
It's time for your moron moment.
National Read a Book Day on September 6th calls all book lovers to indulge in their favorite hobby guilt-free. Bringing new worlds to life, books enlighten us and transport us on exciting adventures. They can challenge our perspectives on the human experience in ways unmatched by other media. In a world deluged by technology, National Read a Book Day encourages us to silence the noise and turn the pages for a while. And that's your Moron Moment. And you'll find that on our Facebook and Instagram. It's 8:05. With Moody Radio News, I'm Ron Eastwood.
Broadcasting live from the Bob Devine studio, it's Mornings with Brian. Want to join the conversation? Call or text now at 440-546-2255. It's Mornings with Brian on Moody Radio Cleveland.
Mornings with Brian. Moody Radio Cleveland. 103.3 at 6 to 9 a.m.
Powell. It's Follow-Up Friday on WCRF, Moody Radio, Cleveland. And tomorrow's the Renew Women's Conference. The whole band is getting together, you know. Kelly will be there. She's in studio all morning. Kelly Reiter. Yeah.
It's good to be joining you guys. It's so fun.
And Lauren and Daria and Ron. That girl. I don't know who that is, but that girl sure is sassy. Which one? Both of them. All three of them.
I am a little feisty.
Yeah. Oh,
Just a tiny bit.
And Dr. Julie Slattery is going to be there. Glenna Marshall.
She's part of that girl.
Yeah.
Yes.
Honorary member. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
she's the one doing the dancing?
Yeah, probably. Maybe she'll sing.
She was all into me coming up with walk-up songs for her.
Yeah, and you haven't. So.
A walk-up song?
No, it wasn't a walk-up song. It was a name. Wasn't it?
I don't remember.
Like my Sparkle, Lauren Sparkles. You were going to come up with something for her.
I was, yeah. Although a number of years ago, there was a Authentic Intimacy conference.
Okay.
And we were the warm-up act to warm up the crowd. And I went up there and I opened up to the Song of Solomon.
Oh, Brian.
No, Brian.
And I decided to give some, it was like a couples thing. I decided to give some really great pickup lines from the Bible. And was like, Julie, what do you think of these? And I'm like, your teeth are like goats.
I was just about to say that.
Your neck is like a tower.
Your ears look like goat ears.
Yeah. I thought it
You
was
have a
pretty funny.
giraffe neck.
But I was like, girl, your teeth are like goats. Girl.
Has to be like that, though.
Yeah.
Has to be like that.
And she thought it was fun. Julie Slattery.
Yeah.
She's great fun.
She is.
It's all going to happen tomorrow, along with some Panera and some pastries and a great time. So, you know,
Be there or be square.
Yeah, let's not be L7.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, you make an L with one hand and a
It's more
7
like a
with the
rectangle,
other,
to be honest.
and you put it together and
Because your thumbs are
square.
shorter.
That's back from the 50s.
That's a triangle you just made. That's a heart.
So, all right, 440-546-2255. Text RENEW to that number, and you can get your tickets today and more information and such. So we've been talking a bit today about probably the hottest topic of the week, which is, should Christians support student loan forgiveness? And what we're discovering, I think, is a lot of Christians seem to support a more nuanced position here. The all for or all against seems to not be ruling the day, although some would still feel that way. In fact, one of the things I asked our friend Lauren to dig into a bit for us is the sentiment that we've seen a lot, which is best represented by this text. Quote, "It isn't fair to people like me who were also sold the same bill of goods about college and repaid my loans in full, living on peanuts and beneath my means for a decade." As in, I was told the same lies from colleges and banks and all that, and I paid mine and I paid it off. It's not fair that you'd get yours paid off. So the question in my mind is that a biblical disposition? It's a legit feeling. I felt that way about lots of things.
Yes, that feeling is so legit. It's okay to have that feeling. You know, there's reasons you have that feeling because you did your work.
I feel that way when anyone posts vacation pictures.
Right.
Oh.
It's not fair that you are on that vacation and I'm here at my
Especially
house.
if it's, like poolside.
Yes.
I feel it deeply.
Yeah. One thing I wanted to look into was the Sabbath year, where you find it in Deuteronomy 15, where they release the debts of all the Israelites. Any Israelite that had a debt, the person who gave the loan had to release it.
Like totally forgive it, write it off.
Totally forgive it.
Every how many years?
7.
Okay.
Every 7 years. So at the end of every 7th year, you must cancel the debts of everyone who owes you money. This is how it must be done. Everyone must cancel the loans they have made to their fellow Israelites. They must not demand payment from their neighbors or relatives, for the Lord's time of release has arrived. This release from debt, however, applies only to your fellow Israelites, not to the foreigners who live among you. There should be no poor among you, for the Lord your God will greatly bless you in the land he is giving you as a special possession. You will receive this blessing if you are careful to obey all the commandments the Lord is giving you today. And it goes on and on.
But that's not fair, Lauren, because what I would do, I'd be sneaky. I'd be like, oh yeah, next year is the year of Jubilee. I'm going to borrow $1 million.
Right.
It
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how close to the 7th year.
You probably won't even get that at that point because they know it's coming.
Yeah, I guess they know too.
That's so true. So I went to the Moody Bible commentary. Deuteronomy was written by Dr. Jim Coakley. He's the best. Okay.
You've taken him for classes, right?
No, I didn't. I went to Israel with him.
Oh, there you go. So you know him. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Continuing the theme, and he says, continuing the theme of caring for the underprivileged, Moses gave instructions regarding the Sabbath year. The Sabbath year was earlier mentioned, whereby Israel was not to cultivate the land every seventh year. This may be an expanded exposition of the fourth commandment. At the end of the seventh year, every creditor shall grant remission of debts that their fellow Israelites has incurred. While the practice of debt remission may seem unfair to the lender, especially if he were to lend money out close to the seventh year, several points can be made in defense of the practice. The overall theme of the passage focuses on God blessing the people. So it seems inevitable that God would richly bless the lender for his obedience, even if it made no financial sense to forgive the loan made so close to the Sabbath year. This verse also focuses on the moral, not financial principle behind the commandment to forgive loans. They were, in essence, debtors to God and morally responsible to likewise forgive debts of others.
Oh, so forgive. Yeah. Lord, it's the Lord's Prayer.
Yeah.
Forgive us our trespasses, we forgive those who trespass against us.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, one translation says debtors.
Yes, debtors. Mm-hmm.
So if I'm understanding you correctly,
because we have been so richly given grace to forgive all of our debts, that we have not financial debts towards God. We can't have financial debts technically towards God, but we sin against him every day. Our hearts are constantly running away from him. He is always beckoning after us, and we are constantly running away. And he's forgiven all of our debts, and it should be our disposition to forgive others of debts.
You want to talk about not fair? Jesus died.
You said it.
I mean, he didn't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
And he suffered the worst death. Now, I did see somebody text in to say, whoa, let's not get carried away with our theology here. Grace for sin is different than financial debt. But what it sounds like you're saying...
It's less. I'm so sorry. It is less. Grace for debt is less than grace for sin.
You got to watch the live stream.
You broke Lauren.
Yes.
But you've seen this argument come in.
Yeah. Because they're saying, well, it's only something God can do. Mm-hmm. And we are to be every day looking and acting more like Christ, who died for our sins.
So that would be an argument more for full forgiveness, full stop, like for loans.
And I understand in the society we live in, and there wasn't full forgiveness all the time. For 7 years, they are paying off their debts. And then just on that seventh year, it's whatever is remaining, forgive it. So God is saying, yeah, you got to be responsible, financially responsible. You're going to pay back those loans for 7 years. You're going to work, and you're going to be responsible, and you are going to, own up to that you needed this money and you're paying it back. But at 7 years, we're going to forgive it.
So even a Christian supporting the idea of, like, let's just say a 7-year term, you must pay full payment of your student loan for 7 years, and then it's forgiven.
I could see it.
And I could see people who are frustrated because they didn't get loan forgiveness actually going like, oh, okay, yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, I totally get that. It's frustrating that my parents paid their debts and then they're like, oh, but my daughter gets her debts paid. That feels bad because I spent so much time and money and was living less. But we should be overwhelmed with joy for our friends who are getting their debts paid.
That's
even if it's not for you.
That's a Christian heart.
Yeah.
And this is where it's so hard. And when we talk about conforming our lives to Christ, right? Like, we're supposed to change the way we think when we follow Jesus.
And it's hard.
This is one of the harder ways to do it. It's hard to rid ourselves of jealousy.
Totally.
And a sense of fairness.
Yeah.
Even Ecclesiastes. Like, I remember I'm the one guy who loves Ecclesiastes, and one of the major themes in there is life is not fair. Like Solomon wrote, it's not fair that the good die young and the wicked prosper. But essentially he's saying God's economy has got it figured out. I can't understand this. I've just got to trust that the Lord will work this out.
Yeah, and it's not fair. Like Dr. Coakley said in the comments, it's not fair.
Get over it.
Yeah, it's not fair. And we have to trust that God takes care.
And all of that based on the principle that it is literally not fair that Jesus died for your sins.
That's the least fair on Jesus. It's not fair to Jesus.
And see, that it sounds so... I think
but we're bringing it down to like human terms. Jesus doesn't feel that it's not fair. Okay, he's God.
Yeah,
right.
Right.
it's not fair to Jesus that he had to take on the world's sin on his shoulder and die.
And see, I think part of it, though, is it feels less tangibly applicable to me, even though it's eternally applicable. The person who knows the theological truth versus has debt they're paying off every month, there's a feeling that's different. It shouldn't be. But I don't know how much we truly internalize as we grow closer to Jesus, the true price he paid on our behalf when we didn't deserve it.
No, it's hard to really make that, make it real to us every day.
It takes a lifetime to meditate on that reality.
Yeah.
To truly come to terms with, wow, I really didn't deserve this.
Yeah. You really have to come to terms of the evil of your own heart. And that every day you are constantly running from God and he's beckoning after you.
Yeah.
And that level of grace and forgiveness, truly grasped, is what gives us the, as you describe it, right, the joy in others receiving grace.
Yeah.
And this is where it reminds me even of when the gospel, my friend Doug, he's such a great pastor. He's got a joy when he preaches the gospel and forgiveness, where a lot of us end up feeling the weight of our sin, right? We beat ourselves up. Oh, I'm such a sinner. No, it's you're missing a piece of the gospel. It's that, oh, I'm such a sinner, and God died for me anyway. Oh, what joy!
Right.
It's that spiritual turn that has to take place. That's where we can find our joy in others receiving radical forgiveness.
And I think there's also this too. It's okay to feel frustrated or to feel gypped, but not to stay living in that mindset. You have to move past it. Because if you keep living in it, you're going to be living in bitterness and anger, and you're not going to be fully living in the fruits of the Spirit if you're living in those things, and it's going to corrupt your soul. So you have to move past it.
And yet, as we come full circle on this, all that spiritually being said, I don't think any of you are saying, therefore, forgive all American student loans. In thy mercy.
No. No, I don't think so. I think we also, we still do live in a society. We still have to have a structure of how life works and paying back debts and being wise with your money and making good choices.
And we're not ignorant to the tax fallout if student loans are forgiven. But I think we have structural problems. And like I said earlier in the week, I think we just want a little bit of compassion.
Yeah, because have empathy for others.
It is hard.
But do you see how quickly Christians can give that pat answer like we just did? And we could have ended that with, and you see, forgive student loans. Here's Chris Tomlin. No, but that's not the answer.
It's hard. It is not fun. It feels bad.
But our heart's disposition is what God is going to be caring about. And as you indicated, Daria, right? It's empathy. It's compassion. And we can declare a sense of unfairness. David did all the time to the Lord.
Yes, and those who are in our society who are greedy and preying on people for their money, and they know that they're being evil with money, their hearts will have to be to answer to God too.
Yeah, because God is the arbiter of justice.
Yes.
Not Jod is the arbiter of Gustus. As I almost said.
Wait, where is this going?
It's 8:21. We got to take a quick break. Some wrap-up thoughts if you have them. Otherwise, we'll keep rolling. It's Follow Up Friday, 440-546-2255.
1959, Cuba.
This is the biggest demonstration in Cuba's history. Almost 1 million people are here. There is Fidel Castro, the leader.
Cuba then became a one-party, communist and atheist state.
When the revolution took over in 59, things becomes bad to the churches.
But today, this longtime Cuban pastor sees hope.
We really think that this is our time to reach our country. Now people are willing to listen to the gospel.
Cuba needs Jesus. Cuba needs you. You can be part of something really big. Join TWR in taking the good news of Jesus into Cuba every night by radio.
Radio waves can reach everywhere. Any Cuban could listen to the gospel.
Partner today with TWR. Go to CubaNeedsJesus.org.
Shame.
The enemy uses it to keep God's daughters isolated, distant, and feeling unworthy. Meet Moody Publishers' newest author, Morgan Kruger. She has experienced this and wants to link arms with you, owning your beautiful identity as a daughter of God. Morgan lifts the burden of cultural lies and replaces them with truth and freedom in Christ. From author Morgan Kruger, Goodbye Hiding, Hello Freedom. Buy it now at moodybooks.org.
Pour another cup of coffee and settle in for engaging, Christ-centered conversations. It's Mornings with Brian on Moody Radio Cleveland.
Mornings with Brian. Moody Radio Cleveland. 103.3 at 6 to 9 a.m.
This is WCRF. We're Ron and Brian.
Yeah.
And Lauren and Daria and Kelly Reiter today.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Kelly, are you having fun?
I am having fun.
Good.
It's always fun to be with you guys. It's great.
You take listeners through the afternoons.
I do.
What
Yes.
times again?
It is, I start talking around 11
Uh-huh.
and then through 3, here and there,
So
not
pe-
constant.
So people know your voice. And you're our operations manager, so you make sure the whole thing works.
Yeah, if something's not working, it means something's burning in the background, and I'm scrambling and stressing out. So
I mean, you're doing so much, and we're so grateful for you. And it's fun to
Aw,
have you here.
Thank you. It's fun. Yeah, I'm glad to be here.
And you're partying in studio today.
I am.
Because it's extra girl power, because tomorrow is the
Ultimate
girl
girl
power.
power.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's the Renew Women's Conference.
Mm-hmm.
Daria, you should tell people about your panel discussion tomorrow for the Renew Women's Conference. It's very girl power.
I was on the phone. What? I heard my name, and that's about it.
You're going to be moderating the panel discussion.
Oh, yeah.
Tell us a bit about the Renew panel discussion.
Yeah, so we're calling this Trusting God to Write Our Stories. And Kelly she's actually the one that gave us our topic. So if you don't mind, Kelly, we were kind of talking about just where you are in life, and we were talking about this comparison. So if you don't mind, what made you think of this?
For sure. So there's been so many times in my life where I just feel like I'm behind in everything. So I'm 33, just got married a year ago. And so in life, you're like, I'm not married. I don't have kids. I don't have the house. All these things you think you should have by late 20s. And you're 33 and you don't have like any of that.
When you're a Christian, that timeline ends at like 22.
Right. So I'm even farther behind, right? You feel this pressure. And sometimes I think we don't find the joy in the season that we're in, that we don't find the satisfaction in the season that we're in, because we're so focused on what somebody else has before us. And sometimes even now, sometimes I feel this conflict of I haven't made it, or I haven't arrived in the Lord's calling or what I think I should be in. So, yeah, that kind of sparked it a little bit.
And that seems to be, you all ended up agreeing, that's kind of a universal woman experience.
Oh, yeah.
All the time.
I mean, if I got married young, so I had people going, why are you getting married so young? And then I started hanging out with different people who had kids younger than I got married. And it's like, well, I don't know, you have kids yet.
See, yes. Yeah.
Well, and I'd imagine even there's the folks who are empty nesters, and they're like, why do all my friends have grandkids?
Right.
What's wrong with my kids? Why can't I have grandkids yet? Look how I'm missing out on. Look at the other person retired. I don't get to retire.
Oh,
I'm behind. Whatever it might be, women are facing these kind of comparisons. And you all, I mean, women are pretty hard on each other. Yeah?
Yeah.
That, and I think we're harder on ourselves. I think we use other women as kind of a scapegoat for the negative thoughts we have about ourselves. But there is that comparison. And some women can be catty, but I think we're most catty to ourselves and thinking that we should have what other women have and just achieve all the things and neglecting the fact that there is no concrete definition or path for a biblical woman. And God is using all of us in our very different life circumstances. Some people, even though they want to, might never get married because God has a different purpose for them. And that is okay. And that is beautiful.
And that's part of what we'll be talking about in the panel discussion at Renew tomorrow, Renew Women's Conference.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
As in you're out of time.
That's right. We love you tomorrow. You're only a day away.
Oh, you got my reference.
I did. And I got a grin from Lauren, a slight grin. If you rewind the tape, as she says, you'd see a slight grin. Thank you, Lauren.
You're welcome.
You're so generous on Fridays.
Yeah.
She's a little bit feverish. That's why you're getting that.
Text RENEW to 440-546-2255. Text RENEW to 440-546-2255. In light of the comparison thing, Ron and I have talked about this before. You know, I'll be going out with my wife or something, and she'll be like, do I look okay? I'll be like, babe, you look great. You don't have to dress up at all. I'm not dressing up for you, Brian. Right, Ron?
Yeah.
Who is she dressing up for?
The other women.
Yeah. What is that about?
Julie Slattery talked about it when we interviewed her.
Really?
Yeah, a couple weeks ago, talking about Renew. Yeah, she said, "Oh yeah, I want to know what other women think about me. That I want to know that other women think I look cute, or that I have a good outfit on, or that my hair looks nice."
Yes.
And this is why when it's just maddening for us, because we'll go, "Oh, you're so beautiful," and just stop that. Like, you don't need to hear that from us. You don't believe it. You have to say that. Oh, okay. I guess I'm a big liar then. That committed my entire life to
Sometimes it just doesn't hold as much weight, unfortunately.
Isn't that wild, though? Like, Eddie's opinion of you might not hold as much weight as your female colleagues.
Because we know they don't have the scrutinizing eye. Like, I know that he's not going to notice my earrings or the way I styled my hair or the specific shirt I picked instead of the other one I almost went with. But women do.
Yeah.
That's very true. I mean, Jimmy,
Jimmy knows all.
He is head over heels for Daria, and that's all that matters.
Yeah.
Shouldn't that be enough?
A couple weeks
I
ago,
know.
I was wearing a pair of earrings. He's like, "Oh, I like these. Are these new?" I said, "Honey, my mom got me these for my birthday 2 years ago."
Aw,
Bless.
But that's cute. See,
so
for
cute.
me, I have to say, like, my hair.
Do you see my hair
Do
today?
you see it? Like,
Yeah.
I
see my
got
hair
a
hang?
cut, and it looks cute.
My
It
hair's
does look
20
cute.
inches long. I got 2 inches cut off. You didn't notice?
I know.
Right.
That's me.
But yeah, so ladies, this is going to be a place for us to address deeper issues like that. Not just read you Proverbs 31 and tell you to, conform.
Do
I have
better.
an issue with Proverbs 31.
Oh, don't
I do.
don't we
Don't
all?
even start. Don't even do it.
I doubt it'll even come up tomorrow. You think?
No.
No.
So come to the Renew Women's Conference for a fresh look at what it means to follow Jesus as a woman. Not afraid to jump into deep theology, challenge you to love Jesus more deeply, be with other women who want the same thing.
Yeah.
And even if you like doilies, we will not have them.
No, unfortunately not.
There's no monogrammed doily. Do you monogram doilies?
I don't know.
Some people do.
Yeah. I don't have those, but
Bring those back.
For what?
Maybe Gen Alpha will be all about doilies.
Maybe.
You can go make doilies, and you can put your name on them.
You could crochet some.
What do you do with it?
it could be
I don't
the
know. That's what I'm saying. I have no idea.
The grandma vibe. There's like
Bring
this,
back grandma vibes.
exactly.
It's kind of like a coaster, isn't it?
Brian,
Grandma
you keep
core.
looking at me and asking, and I keep saying I don't know.
Yeah, you're the least doily person I
yeah.
know.
Yes.
Less than Ron. Like I could see Ron with a doily before I'd see you with one. 440-546-2255. Text the word renew. Ladies, it's your last chance. Tomorrow's the Renew Women's Conference, Canton Baptist Temple, Dr. Julie Slattery, all the ladies. Even Ron and I will be there.
Yeah.
Woo!
And I did tell Dana that you're likely to call her out.
What did she say?
She said, "Well, what do I have to do?" I said, "Stand up if you want. Just wave."
Do the
Slink
parade
back
wave.
into your chair.
Do like the back of
The
the
queen.
hand. Hey.
She had some ideas of what she might do, and I said, "No, that one wouldn't work." And no, probably not that. But
mysterious.
double arm.
Yeah.
Oh, the double wave. Yes, that's a good
Yes.
one. Dana Eastwood will be there. It'll be epic. Okay, time for a quick break. It's 8:35, 440-546-2255. A little more time on a follow-up Friday.
How beautiful are the feet of those who bring good news. Welcome to Footsteps from TWR. Here's your host, Andy Napier.
Our topic, carrying the gospel to countries where Christianity is under heavy persecution. Our guest is TWR's Harry Bettig.
You know, Andy, there are some places where missionaries simply cannot go. It's either too dangerous or it's completely prohibited.
Why don't you pick one of those?
Well, I would say Pakistan. But guess what? We can go in with the gospel through the radio airwaves. And TWR has a powerful AM transmitter from outside that's able to broadcast into Pakistan, North India, and Afghanistan. And, you know, in that part of the world, people don't know scripture from the Christian Holy Bible. That's foreign to them. They know the Quran. And sometimes listeners say, you know, this is a completely different message, and I don't quite understand it. But as they listened, they began to understand the Bible. This was the case of a mechanic with a family of 6. And he recently began listening to the Word Today programs, and he said that they helped him to understand scripture. And now he and his wife listen to TWR programs every evening. Here's what he says. My life has been totally altered by these messages. Since I work as a mechanic, I turn on the radio every evening. And when customers come into my business, they also have the opportunity to listen to these programs. Well, let's pray that his customers will also find purpose and be changed by the gospel.
Romans 1:16, for I am not ashamed of the gospel, for it is the power of God for salvation to everyone who believes. To learn more about TWR's Pawnee transmitter for Pakistan, Afghanistan, and North India, go to twr.org/footsteps.
Footsteps is a production of TWR.
Prayer works. Seeking to remain faithful and fruitful for God in these challenging times? Consider this prayer about living a gospel-centered life. Pastor Hannibal Rodriguez was a speaker at Moody Bible Institute's 2022 Founders Week Bible Conference.
Beautiful Savior, we are grateful, Lord, that you've given us this call, that it changes the way, not only how we think, but the way we live. We are grateful, Lord, for this beautiful picture of what is yet to come when Jesus returns. But at the same time, Lord, we are so grateful of what we already have in Jesus Christ. I pray, Lord, in the name of Jesus, that you help us live embracing these two things. The beauty of who Jesus is and what he already did on our behalf, and the beauty of what is yet to come. And we pray for all of this in the name of Jesus. And you all say, Amen.
A gospel-centered life is sourced by prayer. Learn more at moodyradio.org/prayer.
Mornings with Brian is on the air. Get your coffee in hand. Let's start the day.
Hello, and welcome to Mornings with Brian.
That really fit. That was a good one. That was a good one.
She finally liked one.
Oh! Can we just end the show now?
You have to mark that one down, Ron.
Oh, that was funny.
I used to use that one all the time. It was
but with the song, it fit.
It finally found a home.
Do you still have that Masterpiece Theater thing in there, Ron? Remember that?
Yeah, somewhere.
Oh, that was
I don't know if
funny.
you guys were around. I used to do it with this one.
So much.
It's going to take a minute to
It'll
find
take
it.
a minute to find it. We'll get to it. But while we do that, again, Renew Women's Conference is coming up.
You don't have
Mañana.
much time. You don't have time.
In fact, Lauren, I'm
What?
gonna start it, and you pick it up.
Probably won't.
It's tomorrow.
Go ahead, Kelly.
Tomorrow.
Go ahead, Kelly.
Lauren.
I'm not singing. Especially with my
She's
sick voice.
sick. Leave her alone.
With my sick voice?
Sometimes a sick voice enhances one's voice.
Yeah.
Like Phoebe from Friends when she tried to keep getting sick.
Yes.
Because it made her voice better?
Yes.
Did you find it, Ron?
Yes.
And now, live on Mornings with Brian, we have Lauren is going to sing for you a song from Annie called Tomorrow. Take it away, Lauren.
You like really put on a performance. You like, sat up. Your mouth
Like it's
wide
position.
open.
It's part of the thing. Here we are, Masterpiece Theatre.
I heard this so many times.
Yeah, we used to do a contest. It was
We
called
did.
King James or King Lear.
Yes.
Was the quote? Was this from King James or Shakespeare?
It was-
Kelly developed this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I was here
fun.
and it's still going. So
You were?
yes.
Oh. I thought you started last week. I'm sorry, what's your name? Laura? Is that?
No, I got called Laura in an email this week. And I said,
Laura Chavez.
You've got to be kidding me.
No.
My name is in the email and my signature.
My favorite is she gets mixed up with the station manager, so we get packages for Laura Villa and Josh Cuevas.
Yes.
Not even close.
To Lauren Villa. No, that's not me. Just
Wasn't
because we
there
both
one-
have Hispanic last names, please.
It was like
Gosh.
Kelly Dolan. I think there was one something.
We got one. It was like Mornings with Kelly and Ron or something.
Yeah, it was. I was like, nope, sorry.
Wow, I would love that show. I would love that show.
And somehow it still ends up here.
Does it? You should take a photo next time.
We used to
wow.
do this, Kelly. We'd get wrong ones all the time.
All the time.
People are always calling me brain, but
Yes,
not sure that's a
I
mistake.
do remember that. And I'm like, hold on a second.
One time Janet Parshall did it.
Yes.
What's
an
really
email.
upsetting is that the Lauren Villa packages come from Moody Publishers.
No.
Our employer. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
And your husband,
my
by
husband
the
works
way,
there.
works at Moody Publishers.
So,
Oh, that makes it worse.
Wow.
Lauren Villa.
It's 8:41. Again, get your ticket to the Renew Women's Conference. More like this tomorrow. Text Renew to 440-546-2255. For the right price, I could do my voice for you at your conference.
There is no
Oh.
price that we are willing to
For
pay.
the right price.
Yeah.
And now I have to really use self-control to not use that voice all the time because you like it. Because if I do it too much, you won't like it anymore.
Yeah, last week you were doing a voice around the office, and it made me actually sob. And then Daria started doing it, and I actually sobbed even more. Oh, it's good.
Oh, wait. One of the impressions I do?
Yes.
I
it's really
gotcha.
funny. So now you have two.
She about fell out of her chair.
Now you have two.
Oh, no.
Making you laugh is like winning the lottery. It's so rare.
I guess.
To like you give me pity laughs on a regular basis.
Yeah. Totally.
But a genuine Lauren laugh is pretty difficult to get.
Do the pity laughs make you feel better, or is it like
I lie to
doesn't work?
myself. I lie to myself, and I tell them that
see.
they're real. Tell
Yeah.
myself it's real. Like, oh, she's laughing.
That's
It's
funny.
nice. I thought I'd get away with not revisiting one topic.
You won't.
But of course, nothing gets past Daria. So earlier this week, we covered a really interesting topic. Let me see how long I could take to set this up.
You already have taken long enough this whole break. So.
Vanity Virtue was an article from the Washington Post talking about a new type of plastic surgery, all the rage in Brazil, where it was invented. It's likely headed this way, where plastic surgery went from men accounting for only 5% of plastic surgery 6 years ago to now 46%.
Whoa, that's a jump.
Of plastic surgery in Brazil for men, primarily due to ultra high definition liposuction, which essentially artificially creates a six-pack for men. So the reporter was like, I was at the beach in Brazil. There's a whole bunch of guys that had a six-pack, but all other indicators didn't seem like they should.
That is so odd.
And you can imagine this. Like, you run into a guy clearly not healthy.
Right, and that's my whole thing about it. Like,
a six-pack.
You have a six-pack, but it's not actually doing what it's supposed to do. Like, you're not strong. You're not, like, fit in any way. You can't carry more things.
That
You
would
don't
look
have good
so
core
odd.
strength. Yeah, it's just like, why?
Well, I'm still having trouble with the, like women do things to impress each other.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know any guy that's like, there's never been a time Ron said, hey, Brian, come over here. Yeah. What? Check out this guy's abs. What a six-pack.
It would be so weird.
I'm so jealous.
Please don't.
Like, guys don't care about six. And you were telling me earlier that, like, women are not particularly here nor there. I mean,
Yeah, it's like whatever.
they know nerds make the best husbands.
Yeah, that's right.
It's true.
Well, clearly, guys do care about this because almost 50% of surgeries in Brazil are men getting this.
But I don't
crazy.
get it. I don't get the why.
I think men are just as insecure. We had superhero movies are a huge thing right now, and a lot of those guys, they go on like really extreme diets or probably some steroids involved. So the male beauty standard has changed, and guys see that and they feel insecure.
Yeah.
There's truth to that. I remember, in the last year, I was going to say recently, it's fairly recently, watching Escape from New York, I think it was. And Kurt Russell was the star. He was the beefcake guy.
Was it like 1980-ish?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they did a shot of him like in a locker room or something, so there was an excuse for him to have his shirt off. And, his arms were beefed up and his pectoral, the chest was, but no, the abdomen area was just flat. It was just covered with skin. There was no definition there.
What an ugly loser.
And I thought, what a difference, because today you've got everybody they have slimmed down as much as they can to show that muscular. And it just struck me, wow, how different.
Well,
then
and
to now.
Right, and they're also airbrushed to make it look more defined.
You mean like with makeup, sort of? So to speak?
Yeah. So like Dancing with the Stars, movies, they airbrush the abs to make them look like more pronounced.
Huh. We should
Really?
Ron, we should
Yeah.
try that. We could both wear halter tops and have somebody paint on abs. Would people believe it?
It is a thing, though. It is a thing
No, I
to
believe
add
you.
more shadows.
I believe you. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we were chatting about the vanity issue, that certainly Christians ought not be aiming for body perfection. Now, whenever you have a conversation about plastic surgery, you have to be very careful because, of course, reconstructive plastic surgery is an incredible, life-altering art and a necessity. It's just the idea of chasing the ideal body. Because, Dara, you were saying weren't you saying like 20-year-olds are getting Botox or something?
Yeah, there's a huge
What?
uptick in Gen Z. Keep in mind, so I'm 26, and I'm the oldest you can be and be a Gen Z. So we're talking like 18, 19, 20-year-olds are getting what they're calling preventative Botox, because there's just an obsession with beauty and not aging, because thanks to Instagram filters and magazine covers and celebrities getting plastic surgery, in media, there's not really a good example of someone aging naturally or gracefully.
And if I had Botox, I've been practicing in my camera. Like, I have a lot of wrinkles on my forehead when I'm surprised.
Me too.
Yeah,
My eyebrows are up. Look at
skin
you.
has creases when you make faces, and young women just can't deal with that.
But watch this. Get ready. I'm about to lower my eyebrows. Text live to 440-546-2255. And I'm 45, and the wrinkles are going to be gone. Get ready. Are they gone?
Yeah. Yes.
So what are 20-year-olds doing Botox for?
They're scared.
Don't look surprised like that, Lauren.
My eyebrows.
So, oh, look, we have to take a break here. When we come back from this break, we'll give Lauren and Daria a chance to verbally slap me for a very relevant comparison I thought I made.
Not relevant.
Oh, Brian, what did you do?
It was so bad.
I thought it was...
What did you do?
Pretty bad.
I was trying to show extremes. We'll explain it very slowly. Coming up here in just a minute.
This is David Harms with the ministry India Partners, and I have walked through the red light districts of Mumbai, India numerous times, and trust me, it is dark. Young girls have no joy in their eyes because they feel they have no future, and they'll be stuck in the trade for the rest of their lives. But once they get into a safe house run by India Partners, well, just listen. That is God at work, which is why for the last year we've shared powerful stories of safety, rescue, and care happening through the India Partners safe houses. These girls are safe from harm, well cared for, and introduced to the transforming and healing love of Jesus. Learn more about the power of rescue and care in a safe house at indiapartners.org/Moody.
Pursue your passion for shepherding, teaching, and ministry leadership with a Master of Divinity from Moody Theological Seminary. New for fall of 2025. Earn the same world-class degree in a shorter amount of time. We've reduced credit hours to earn a degree while maintaining the quality and course content essential for effective ministry. Need flexibility? Take classes online or on our Chicago or Michigan campuses. Even interchange between all options on a class-by-class basis. Get started at moody.edu/MDiv.
Wake up in the morning, it's a brand new day. Tune into the station, gotta hear what they say. Mornings with Brian on Moody Radio Cleveland from 6 to 9 a.m. Let's dive in.
Special thanks to Ron Eastwood and Artificial Intelligence for all the jingles we've added to the show. You're the man, Ron Eastwood.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Good.
So the article from Washington Post was Vanity is Virtue, talking about male plastic surgery going up, and we're talking about vanity, clearly not a virtue for Christians. I wanted to bring up that the opposite is like the extreme opposite is not the ideal then. Because oftentimes this is what we do. We swing a pendulum. We go, okay, well, vanity is not right, so I'm just not going to care at all what I look like. And I don't think that's the ideal either. But you didn't like, Lauren and Daria, how I handled that. Go ahead. Call me out on the radio.
No.
Go ahead.
I am, if you would let
Take
me breathe.
me down.
You said something to the effect of, okay, well, if a woman has a mustache and a unibrow, like, we don't want that either.
And then you called her Bert.
Okay, well, that's the most truncated version of the longer version was I remembered that there was a girl.
It doesn't matter.
It's worse because there's a specific person you had in
It doesn't
mind.
matter.
Let me
if
make
it's
an excuse.
Please, go ahead. You're digging your own hole. Go on, please.
No, it was a girl who she was all about proclaiming her Christian faith to the whole world, wearing her Jesus t-shirts and her giant cross. And she was a little unkept.
Okay.
And I don't think that's the ideal either. So vanity/apathy is somewhere in the middle. We gotta care a little bit.
The opposite of men putting in fake abs is not to bash a woman who has a God-given
mustache
unibrow.
She has made peace with it, maybe, and it's okay if that's what she wants to do.
Okay.
Yes.
Listen,
Celebrate
beauty
the
standards
unibrow.
are different all across the world.
We were in America.
And I'm telling you.
We were in Winona, Minnesota.
And I'm telling you, beauty standards are different all across the world. And guess what? God is not a God of just the United States.
What?
So his people are in different nations too, and maybe
You're
the women there are fine to have unibrows and armpit hair.
I applaud. I applaud the
I
female
could not
mustache.
believe that you turned it on women like that.
I am completely shifting my position Ron and I in particular. I'm bringing Ron down with me.
No,
Thank you.
Ron too was there. I heard.
Ron and I
Both of y'all.
celebrate the female mustache.
You turned it from men getting fake abs to being mean to women.
Okay, well, help me with the point, though. What's the opposite, then, of the vain man?
A man who does not care about himself, that lets himself go, that drinks 4 beers a day, and doesn't care about his health, doesn't take care of his heart, doesn't do exercise, doesn't worry about, I should probably be healthy so that I can take care of my kids. That I should be around for my kids. The supersize me guy.
I yield.
Thank you so much, as you should. Otherwise, you would get a barrage.
Get a barrage? I've been given one all week.
This is just a warm-up.
You texted us last week.
I couldn't believe it that I was hearing this.
You texted the show, not me
Yeah,
personally.
because I was in my office.
And you said,
I was
I
ill.
am, in all caps, aghast.
I was aghast. My mouth dropped. And I said, how did we go from men having fake abs to women with unibrows?
In my mind, I was thinking...
Is wrong.
No,
it's
hold
not wrong. It's not your beauty standard.
No, in my mind, what I was thinking was, Lauren, the passage, there is neither Jew nor Greek, male nor female, slave nor free. We're all one in Christ Jesus. And so in my head, I'm thinking Christian. Christian.
Leave. Get out of here. Do not.
You cannot redeem
Christian.
this, sir.
Don't be twisting scripture like that.
Ron's averting his eyes.
Get out of here.
Good move, Ron.
I'm trying to stay away.
Stay away. Oh my gosh.
I thought you'd enjoy that.
We did not.
No.
I put the fun in fundamental.
As
I'll
soon
tell you
as
that.
that came out of your mouth, I texted Lauren. We're getting emails.
It was barely out of your mouth and I had a text.
Wait, I put the dumb in fundamental.
Yes.
Yes.
Brian.
Kelly,
Kelly,
you understand my point, Kelly.
Brian, no.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Don't bring sweet Kelly into this.
No, don't
So,
drag me down.
All of that said, yada, yada, yada. You're a big fan of the unibrow and the mustache on the female.
If that's what she wants, go right ahead.
You do you, boo.
I'm not paying for her to go get waxed, so I can't say anything about it.
All right.
So.
Rod?
I think we're going to get letters about this.
Where did you come up with that?
It's Becky Tales, right?
Yes.
When did you put that in there?
Oh, Daria mentioned it a long time ago, and I thought I have to find that clip.
Ron for the win.
The day is the perfect day.
Do that
I
again.
think we're going to get letters about this.
Is that one of the P's? Or is that Mr. the guy, the squash?
It's Mr. Lunt.
Oh, Mr. Lunt.
Well, what else could you do but play the Friday song after that? We salute you, female unibrow and mustache.
Go
you
ahead.
are beautiful.
Do it.
Meanwhile, here's Cleveland's own Jason Champion.
Maybe
And
he has a mustache.
We'll wrap up in just a minute.
Are you ready? It's almost time. Oh, he's coming back, y'all, like a thief in the night. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Oh, now it may be morning, night or noon. I don't know, but it's gonna be soon. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? And when we all get to heaven, that's the day when we'll be shouting. Oh, that's the day when that we're gonna be so glad. Oh, we were ready. Are you ready? Are you ready? Listen, do you know him as your King, Lord and Savior of everything? Are you ready? 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 When we all get up to heaven, that's the day when we'll all be shouting, 'cause we'll be so glad, oh, so glad we were ready. Are you ready? Are you ready? I can't wait for that day. No more trouble, it's all gone away. I can't wait to soul be lost if he came back today. Oh, got my bags all ready, 'cause I don't wanna be on that day, I just wanna be ready on that day. Oh, be ready. Oh, be ready. Oh, be ready. And oh, be ready. Oh, be ready. Oh, be ready. Oh, when it cracks the sky. Will we meet in the great by and by? I like that.
Well, that's our Friday song, Cleveland's own Jason Champion. And boy, what a fun day it was.
What a day.
You know what the
Ooh.
secret recipe, I think, was for a fun day?
What? Kelly?
Kelly Reiter.
Yeah. Guys, I'll take it.
Kelly Reiter, our operations manager, spending the whole day with us. It was extra girly today.
Mhm.
In every positive sense
Girly
I could
swirly.
possibly.
Yeah.
Okay, I was afraid that was some sort of like to millennials an offensive phrase or something.
No, it's okay.
We love girly things, right?
Sure.
Just not girly men.
Hey, you know what would be really great? If all the girlies came to the Renew Women's Conference tomorrow.
Ooh,
Nice.
Girly swirly conference.
Yes, ladies,
Nice.
what are you doing? Ladies, in fact, the final pitch should
Ladies,
come
gather
from the ladies.
round. Gather round.
Yes, go ahead, pitch them.
Come to Renew or else. Text Renew to 440-546-2255.
Lauren
or
will
else
give you
you're
the
missing
look.
out. I'll give you the look, and you'll be missing out. You don't get to see me. You don't get to see Daria, Kelly, Ryan, Brian, or Ryan.
Yeah.
Maybe it's fake Mr. Brian. We'll bring him too.
It's probably his name. Yeah.
Guest of the
doppelganger.
fake guest of the show, Mr. Brian.
So your last chance, ladies. Tomorrow's the event. Can't wait to see you at Canton Baptist Temple. There are some tickets left, ladies, so grab
'em
them
today.
now. Text Renew to 440-546-2255. Renew to 440-546-2255. Or you can just go to moodyradio.org/Cleveland. And with that, we will see you